Ooh, babe. Movie night, baby. 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 Movie night, baby.
All right.
It's movie night, baby.
It's movie night, baby.
It's movie night, baby.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Tremain Hayhoe here with Uncanny. Uncanny, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I cannot see you, but I can hear you. I don't know if you're.
I will. I'm gonna put up a little, my avatar in just a minute.
Okay.
So, man, oh man, do I have opinions about the topic tonight?
Oh, good. Good. Because I don't have a whole lot to say, I guess. Maybe I might be eating my own words soon, but yeah, okay. Well, let's hear it. So we're talking about Toxic Avenger, the 1984 version and the 2025 version, almost 40 years later, or over 40 years later, 41 years later. They made a remake, which everybody has been asking for, a Toxic Avengers remake, right?
Yeah, it's been on the top of my list.
Yeah, everyone. Anyone who's anyone. So, yeah, okay, so let's start with the 1984 one.
Yes. So, okay. So I'll admit that the 1984 one, that's basically like a gore revenge movie, right? Which I don't think is quite as popular these days, or maybe for like the last 2 decades. But I know that like in the 80s, there was like that was actually like a pretty big genre, right? And it's not really concerned with like who's like the good guy, or like, it's not like a moral drama. It's more of like someone kind of gets screwed over, and then they become like, get like superpowers, and then they basically just like get vengeance.
Right, which I mean, I don't think it needs to be any more complicated than that. You have he's toxic, and he's an Avenger, so he's avenging he's avenging his being picked on, and it's pretty straightforward, right? It's pretty clear why he's avenging what, his vengeance, why he's going after it.
Yes, exactly. So like, and I think actually, so I'll just admit I didn't quite finish the new one. Although I do understand why there was confusion when we were looking it up, is because it was made and released in 2023 selectively, and they didn't manage to get into any major theaters, or any theaters at all. I think it played at some film festivals or something until 2025. So that's why there's like, it's kind of both Toxic Avenger 23 and 25. But
Okay.
I think for me, and we can kind of go a little bit more into like the plot and stuff, like the first one, the second one. But I think that point of it doesn't need to be much more than the namesake, I think is accurate, because the new one tries to make it something entirely different than what it was.
Right. Which I like that. In theory, I like that idea, right? I like that idea of not just redoing the same exact movie that was already done. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And in theory, I like that because it's something new. It's a fresh take on it. But they took something that they didn't have to change it that much. They took something that was really over the top and pretty entertaining, and then they made it boring, and made it more serious and preachy. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I made it about 90% of the way through. I had about 10 minutes left, but what was done was already done, but I was falling asleep watching the new one. I was falling asleep, and even though it's like really loud and bonkers, and I've got a really good sound system watching the movie, there's a lot of loud noises and everything, but Yeah, I mean it's that overstimulation of when you're trying to entertain too much, or you're trying to put too much into it, or put too much violence, too much gore. It just becomes nothing, right? It doesn't really have anything. But anyway,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
and it's well, and the other thing too is like, okay, like obviously, like everything was over the top in the original, right?
Yeah.
So like, and it wasn't over the top, and it kind of reminds me of like the absurdist kind of humor from like the mid to late 90s, early 2000s, where it was like so over the top that it was like these were basically like living cartoon characters, right? So like it wasn't like, oh, these people are violent. It was like they literally had point scoring system for like uh unaliving people on the road, like
The guy,
absurd stuff
what
you'd
was it?
never see.
Yeah, I was rewatching the other one. What was his name? Bozo. Bozo's like,
His
I
name was
hate that guy.
Bozo.
He's like, I hate that guy.
They're stressing me out. I gotta drive.
He's stressing
And
me
then
out.
and I love the part when he's driving with him and he's like, he was like, the Toxic Avenger was basically like kind of giving him some crap, and then he's like, I got problems.
It's like, yeah, we gathered that. We gathered you have some
But
serious problems.
like it's like everything was over the top. So like the what you might say is like gruesome or bad stuff was so cartoonish that it really wasn't like it was so unrealistic that it's not like it doesn't glorify violence. Right? It's just so cartoony, and but like there was a lot of funny stuff. Like when Sarah, the blind girl, brings him back to her place, and she says, "What?" She said, "What was his name? Melvin. Melvin, watch out! There's a step." And then she instantly trips over the step. Like, and then
Right.
she has like she doesn't have one cane. She has like 20 canes just leaned up against her window, and then she instantly smacks him like in the groin with it. I don't know. It's just like it had that old school kind of like almost like slapstick,
It had
right?
that it had a certain charm to it, and it knew what it was, and it had a lot of fun. It seemed like they were having a lot of fun. The scene with all
Yes.
the bullies in the car, and then there's a poor kid riding his bike, like, let's get him. You get extra points, if you get him this way. And it's just so ridiculous and so outrageous.
And
You have fun with it.
and
And
even the characters, right? Like, okay, so like I'm just gonna say it. Not, I think both in terms of like acting demeanor and like also like there is a physicality aspect to it. Is Peter Dinklage was probably not the best person to play Toxic Avenger,
right.
and
Right.
and part of it is that like if you watch the original, it doesn't have to this way, but if you notice in the original, Melvin, the guy who plays Melvin, he's like getting the full on 80s action style brawls, and like Peter Dinklage needs like his mop staff to do anything. Right? And you're like, because even they were like, there's no way Peter Dinklage is going to take on a gang of like five grown men who are like have guns and stuff. Like, just, he's not Yoda. So,
Right, right. Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole idea of it is he becomes a mutant. He comes from this weak underling janitor to s- falling in toxic waste and becoming this, having this superhero strength and looking like a mutant, which he is. So, I mean, it's which that makes sense. I mean, they made it really complicated. Then they try to make it the whole the stepdad. Oh, I'm sorry, we lost your mother, and I'm not your real dad, but I'm your stepdad. And the guy's like, I'm not 10 anymore. And it just adds this level of not funness
it starts
that
with depressing. Like,
yeah, yeah.
it's because like the whole thing is comical. So, like, the what we start with in the beginning of the original is like it starts with New York City, a city full of progressive business tycoons making the world a better place. And then but there is a byproduct of all this amazing technological and economic progress in society, and it's that New York dumps all of their toxic waste in New Jersey. And you're just like, that in itself is hilarious, right? Because like that's the whole, like if you talk to anybody, like there's like the whole skit, like in Futurama, there's this episode where Bender and Fry are trying to find an apartment together, and they go and like they're touring all these kind of wacky sci-fi apartments, right? And then they get to this one, it literally just looks like a nice apartment, right? You're just like, they're like, oh, cheap price, like really nice place. What's the catch? And the guy goes, well, technically it's in New Jersey. And then it pans to, man, we'll never find a good place.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, it feels New Jersey is always the kind of butt of the jokes of New York and poor New Jersey, and poor New Jersey. I think there's a lot of different things where I think they had that fight scene in that restaurant, which is the same place where they had Night of the Chicken Dead, where they filmed that movie. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, but
I don't think so.
And there's some nods to that too. It's a similar concept. There's mutant chickens taking over a chicken fast food place, and they're fighting off these chicken zombies. Night of the Chicken Dead. Anyway, it's another Troma movie. So Troma movies are interesting because they know what they are. At the same time, they're very schlocky. I mean, it's definition of pure schlock, and it's they are unabashedly not going for quality, right? They're not going for quality. They know what they are. They want to, they want to, they want to entertain. They want to shock, and then they want to have a bunch of blood, a bunch of gore, a bunch of gratuitous nudity. And that's what it is. I mean, that's what Troma is. And they built their empire from that. And Lloyd Kaufman, the leader, who's like, he's like a D movie Lloyd, what's his name? Mel Brooks. He's like a D movie Mel Brooks, essentially. That's what he is. I mean, he's a short guy, he's older now, and yeah, I me't he's got that humor, and he's unabashedly himself. I mean, which you got to give him credit. He likes what he likes, and he likes that gratuitous nudity and the schlocky gore and campy over the top humor, and that's what they made their film company on, right? That's what all the movies are, the Troma movies. And Toxic Avenger is probably their most famous one, I'd say, because that and Night of the Chicken Dead, and there's a couple of they made dozens of movies and then they've been doing it for decades. So I actually went to one of their premieres. I forget what the movie was called, and I had met Lloyd Kaufman. And
you met him?
I met him, yeah, a couple times. I ended up sending him an email. We were going to set up a time to have coffee or something. Then we never did. But then I saw him at the premiere, and there's a Q&A after the premiere. It was interesting. I was talking to the crew. There were some people at the premiere who were. I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? What's your involvement with the movie? Like, oh yeah, we were a crew on this movie. And I asked him, I'm like, oh, wow. So was it a fun shoot? Was it, you at least I'm sure you at least got paid and, had a lot of fun. They're like, oh, no, he didn't pay us.
So I did some research, by the way, because I actually, since we came up with some topics before, I did watch the 3 trailers for the movies that were coming out today. We can maybe talk about later. And okay. I did a bit of a dive into the Toxic Avenger. Apparently, there is a whole series and a lore behind Toxic Avenger. And because there's been like 5 movies. And one of the funny parts is that there was, I think at one point, the guy who played Melvin in the first one was going to come back to play him in a later movie. And we don't know the official reason why, but the kind of the story that came out was that basically Kaufman didn't want to pay the actor $50 to play him again.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
I was like, all right, I'm getting an idea of what's going on here.
Well, and that's the thing, man. Inherently, look, it's cute when you're just starting out. It's cute when you're in college. You got your college buddies and you're doing it for nothing. You're doing it for a favor. You're helping your friend out. But when you are already established and you've already put together a bunch of movies, and then you're really trying to, so this is what happened. So there was a Q&A at the end, and I asked him a question. I said, do you self-finance your movies, or are you finding investors, and how does that go about? And he got pissed at me. He goes, oh, well, it's not nice. It's not, he goes, it's not fun telling a bunch of investors that they're not going to make their money back. It's not fun. I can't, I've done that many times, and I get their money and I don't ever pay them back. And it's not fun. I mean, I understand. I understand. Yeah. That doesn't sound like fun, but he was really kind of triggered. I didn't say like, hey, how much money do you make, or a really intrusive question like that. But I was just wondering if he self-financed versus if he was looking for investors, or if he had fans investing or paying for his movies. I mean, he has a fan base, but their fan base is very interesting people. So I would say,
Toxic Avenger is a very interesting movie, if I have to say so myself.
Right? Yeah, it's a certain type of demographic that is attracted to this type of content, and I felt a bit out of place. But I mean, it was a movie. It was a movie premiere, so it was cool. And then there was this guy who plays the accordion, and he's like dressed as a vampire as well, and he has this white makeup on, and he's singing and stuff. And yeah, he was playing outside the premiere like that. And Lloyd Kaufman showed up, and he didn't even like say hi to anybody. He was just kind of looking like he had lost his best friend. And I mean, dude, you're at your movie premiere. I don't know, be nice to people. He doesn't. It's so like I inherently kind of disagree with him wholehearately, and especially if you're refusing to pay your actor $50. I mean, come on. I mean,
so I was listening to, so I watched kind of a video to do a little bit of homework. So they were doing like, so there's kind of like behind the scenes for making of Toxic Avenger, and like one of the things that happened was that like a camera broke on like the first week, and they had to halt production because he refused to buy another camera. And then like multiple people ended up leaving because they basically were like so fed up with like, basically, I don't know, it kind of sounds a little bit like filming disasters, like, The Room or something, where it's just like, it's so unreasonable, and like multiple people ended up leaving, and like they had to, it was just like all kinds of stuff. And like there was this really funny quote. I don't know who it was. It was one of the actors, and they basically were caught on film saying it's so frustrating dealing with all these effing morons. But like, who are you going to complain and yell at? It's pretty useless. You're just going to end up yelling at the same morons you have to work with.
Dude, yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's he seems to have some type of disdain for people, and he's got a huge chip on his shoulder, because anytime you see an interview with him, he's like, oh yeah, I've made this many movies, this, and New York Times has never written an article about me, and I'm so great at what I do, and blah, 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 blah. And I don't know. It's just his energy is really just kind of off when it comes to that, because I fundamentally disagree with him in so many different ways. And someone that's trying to make their own movie empire, you want to have a good reputation, right? You want people to have a good time on set. And like, yeah, we're working with a lot lower budgets. I'm working with very low budgets, but I still want people to have a really good time and be able to pay some type of bills, right? And I don't think it's fair to just try to get free work from everybody at all times. It's just not. I just don't.
No.
It's just.
Well, it's a job, right?
Yeah, it's a job. And I was in line talking to these guys. There were a couple of crew members, and they're like, oh, yeah, no, it was terrible. It was horrible. We were barely fed. It was hot. It was smelly. We didn't get paid, and and it wasn't even fun. I mean, I'm like, well, why are you guys even here? I mean, dang, but they're out here.
It's kind of sad because like I don't know. One of the things that I liked about Toxic Avenger from 1985 is it's like and I'm a little kind of surprised to hear that, because like it's like a movie that doesn't really take itself all that seriously. You'd kind of think that it'd be because like a lot of because it is a comedy, like it's obviously a dark comedy, but like it is funny and like
Yeah.
it's absurd and it's meant to be funny. It's like the intro scene, right? So like this is one of the things that's kind of like annoying, and I know that the new Toxic Avenger is not that much longer than the original, but
Mhm.
it's a little bit longer. And so we're
It
like
felt a
minute
lot longer. It felt a lot
it did.
longer. Yeah.
And we're at like minute, I don't know, around minute 40. And Peter Dinklage is just being thrown into the vat of chemicals, right? And
Yeah.
it takes so long, and it's because they do this like whole, and there's like this uh, underground attempt to like fight back against like this corporation. Literally in the first one, it's like it rolls into the after like the voiceover introduction, it rolls into these two truck drivers that are carrying toxic waste on an unopened truck, and then they're like, "Come on, man, let's pull over, take a break." He's like, the boss hates it when we stop right where a bunch of people are." And then he goes, "Yeah, but I got that dope." And then they start literally their face is covered in white powder, and like that's why that there's a vat of toxic chemicals outside of basically a gym and spa.
Right. Yeah. 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 And well, and that whole gym scene is really funny. It's really over the top. It's kind of fitness humor. It's the fitness influencer humor. People that are wearing, some people are wearing next to nothing. Other people are doing wacky workouts. And it's that living in that world. And he's the kid, he's the janitor that's seen as this lowly janitor and this goofball that everyone just kind of picks on, and you kind of feel sorry for the kid, the poor guy. I mean, but
Well, he kind of comes off like he is like developmentally like challenged, right? And you're just like, but that brings it to like a whole new level because it's not even just like obviously like the two guys, like Bozo and his friend, and then the two women that they're dating, like they're over the top comically evil, right? But everyone's also just kind of like not like maliciously, but they're just kind of like all assholes, right? Like
yeah,
they're like,
yeah.
let's all get together and make fun of the mop guy. But then again, Melvin's also like flipping the mop, dirty mop in everyone's
Yeah.
face.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And he drops the mop in the hot tub, and then there's like, I could get an effing disease. Yeah, I could get an effing disease.
It's
Uh,
just and like even Melvin, like that's the other thing too, is like Peter Dinklage's character is like a good guy trying to do the right thing, and like he's like, but like if you remember, even though he's being made fun of, Melvin definitely attempts to hook up with multiple women, and that's how he gets in. So like that's the motivating factor for Melvin, is he's like, ooh, she's a hot chick and I want to hook up with her.
yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And he's got yeah, those are his motivations. I'm gonna go to a blue here. Yeah, yeah, and he's obviously, yeah. So he's the creep. He's incompetent at what he does. He's the janitor, but he's getting made fun of all the time, and that's why it makes sense that if he were to get thrown into that vat of toxic waste, that he would want to have his revenge and become this mutant monster of himself, right? And that
Oh
makes
yeah.
sense. I mean, it doesn't need to be more complicated than that. You don't have to add in this whole father son thing or stepdad son thing, and then the journalists trying to expose the evil corporation type stuff. And I mean, I
Or
like
like the corporate head who's supposed to be Bozo, right? But like older is like gonna use the basically become the Red Hulk, right? Like he's like, I'm gonna harness this power for myself.
right, yeah, yeah, exactly, yes, and that's what he does. And he becomes a different version. I mean, on paper, it sounds like a fun, lighthearted movie, but it kind of sucked the soul out of it. It's like the comedy. There wasn't much comedy in the new one. There was
And the
barely.
comedy was kind of dumb. Like And I like dumb comedy generally, but it fell flat. Like the timing wasn't that good, and uh, Peter Dinklage can be funny, but he is more of like a dry humor kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like the jokes they tried to put in, one, I don't think this is the Toxic Avenger is the kind of movie for dry humor, and two, like the jokes they didn't write the right jokes for him.
Right. Right. Yeah. 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 Excuse me. Yeah. And they made him all green because in the original, he's more of a gray, fleshy tone type. And then now he's just this green creature, right? He's this generic green creature. And I didn't think the makeup effects looked very good. They just looked like he just had this makeup effects on it. You know, normally they make him slimy or something. They do some type of thing to make him look sweaty or slimy, but the way he came off was just he's wearing a rubber mask suit and
And it's like shiny. Like he looks
it
like some sort of shiny alien with a hard
I was
exoskeleton.
gonna say he didn't look shiny. I mean, at the climax of the movie, he looks like he's just wearing this rubber mask, and it didn't look shiny at all. It didn't look like he's sweating or shiny, you know. And he's got the saber thing or whatever it is, and he's swinging it. It's I don't know. It's just you know. And then Toxic Avenger, the guy becomes really tall. He becomes huge and like a Hulk,
Yes.
right?
Well, and he
So
becomes smarter too, which is hilarious. It's like he goes from barely being able to speak to to saying stuff like, "That's right. You remember what you did to those people?" And you're like, like
yeah, Melon. Where did
completely
that come
different,
from?
right? He might as well just be a different person. He changes so much.
Well, and I think it was a different person. I think whoever played the
I think
Toxic
literally, you're
Avengers,
right.
yeah, it was someone a lot taller and stronger than him. But I mean, I mean, if they were to make Peter Dinklage, and then when he turns into a vat of chemicals, he grows to be
Into a
7 feet,
normal height.
normal size, or taller even. If he was like 7 feet tall or something, that would be
That would have been
interesting.
funny.
Right. And or if they showed him as he was and he keeps getting made fun of for his height or for right and I mean cuz I could see that. I could see that if everyone's making fun of his height and he's not, he's barely making ends meet and everything, but he's that would be a reason for him to avenge people. He's the Avenger. Instead, it's kind of like, oh, he's getting back at his boss of where he works at. I don't know. I was kind of
It,
zoning out
I
watching.
think I think fundamentally it's like it's like they went from being, because at its heart, like aside from like the like kind of over the top villainy and like the insane like chemical transformation, right? Toxic Avenger from the 80s was basically in the same vein of like Revenge of the Nerds. It's basically like you have a dweeb and
Yes.
bad fortune befalls him. He gets his some sort of advantage, right? And then he basically ends up beating up all the people, well, in this case unaliving all the people that like cheesed him, and then he gets the hot girl. Like that is what the movie is, and then the whole community goes, yeah, the nerd's cool now.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he saves the kids from the middle of the street, so he's got a good heart. He's yeah, yeah, I mean, they really they have they had something with that character. And I like the extremes of the 80s tropes of the jocks, the over the top jocks and then the over the top nerds. Everyone's so, the nerds are really nerdy. The jocks are really jockey jerky.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I like that. I mean that was that tone worked. But then with this one, they tried a more serious tone. They tried a more darker, try to be more artsy type thing. When you didn't have to do that, they could have had Paul Dano be the nerdy guy and then become the Toxic Avenger. I do think Peter Dinklage was horribly miscast.
Yes.
Or actually, what would be funny is if he was the bad guy. If Dinklage was the bad guy, picking up.
I think he would have been better as a villain because he has that kind of. I mean, maybe it's just Game of Thrones rubbing off on me, right? But like, he has kind of like he plays a good kind of like sneaky, kind of like plotting kind of guy that it's good and it makes sense, right? It's because like people like because of his height, right? People may not take him that seriously, but he's plays a really good smart character who uses that to his advantage. I like it would have been funny if like so if I'm trying to remake this into a comedy, right? Which is what I don't know if you can make Toxic Avenger be Toxic Avenger without it being a comedy if you want to make it good.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
It's right,
It
it's
has to be a comedy. Yeah.
yes. If you would have had like some schmuck who basically is like down on his luck, right? It doesn't, he could be like an older janitor guy or whatever. And like he ends up kind of in a really brief amount of time, like 15 minutes, right? Falling in the vat. And Peter Dinklage maybe be like this guy that's like the corporate guy or like even just like the mayor, maybe, right? Because the mayor was like the bad guy in the first one. And
Right.
like he's like like maybe obsessed with like overcompensating, right? Because like maybe people make fun of tease him for being like short, and then he could even do the thing of like, oh, this dude fell into this vat of oil and basically became the Hulk with a brain, right? Maybe if I go into it, right, and like there you have to have some sort of like sense of like comedic irony, like that's what makes Toxic Avenger funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they just thought, what if we took this, put more money into it that Trauma normally does, get a couple stars in there, have a bunch of gore in there still, but like the whole heart of the Trauma or the I don't know heart or the campiness of the Trauma movies
Yeah.
wasn't really there. They tried to make it a legit movie, which these movies aren't legit, and that's the
No.
point. No,
It's because it comes off like a cheap Marvel knockoff is kind of what it felt like to me, right? But like that was like you're saying the campiness, right? Like there, so the irony that so like there's a scene in the first one where his girlfriend is like she's blind, right? And she's like, "Can I feel your face?" And he goes, "No." And like obviously he's gonna say no because his eyes,
he's
like one of
hideous.
his eyes
Yeah.
is melted down his face, right? So
Yeah.
so then she's like, well, why not, right? Because that's a normal response. But like, why are you acting all crazy? I'm blind, right? And he goes, I got a rash. She's all pimples. He's like, yeah. She's all, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Everyone has pimples at some point in their life. And you're just like, you're looking at his face and you're like, he looks like a goblin with an slanted eyeball. But don't think this is pimples, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit more than pimples.
And it's played straight, right? Like they don't it's a joke because they don't need to remind us it's a joke by making it super dumb. It just is a joke.
It just is a joke. The whole thing is a joke, and everyone is a joke. I mean, there's the whole montage. He saves kids from the middle of the street. He saves a baby. He opens up a popcorn jar for the girl, for the woman. Which is weird. There's a jar of popcorn. She's got a popcorn in a jar, like already popped popcorn in a jar. Not kernels, like they're already popped popcorn. He reaches in the window and opens it, and then it's unabashedly all the women are just scantily clad models. All the guys are these machismo, dudes like this
super buff guy, except for the mayor, who's the comically fat villain, corrupt guy.
Yeah. Playing poker with the big cigar, waving his gun around. Like those are fun villains. It's a fun over the top villain, and
it's the unexpected. See, like this is what I mean by like the comedic irony, right? Is like so there's the scene with a little old lady and she's dropping off her son's pants that may or may not have certain bodily fluids on it, and she's just this little old lady, right? They don't give any inclination that she's evil or anything, and then the Toxic Avenger comes busting in. By the way, one other side note. I love how he has an actual voice, but at all times he has this low growling voice coming from him.
Right, right.
And so you hear this like "Rrrr," and like the Toxic Avenger music plays. He comes in and he starts like beating up this old lady, and you're like, well, this is kind of a weird turn because the scientist literally said that he has a chemically induced psychological need to help people, which is hilarious, right? But he like so he unalives this old lady, and then the mayor's like, he unalived this old lady, like, oh, this is great. We got to get the media on this. We're gonna take him down with this. And then his aide is like, well, actually, she was a slaver, and she had like a laundry list of charges. And you're just like, he goes, he's all, damn, right? But that's the humor, right? It's like this little old lady is like a kingpin.
Right, right, yeah. Yeah, and he's ultimately a good guy. I mean, he's avenging the wrong evildoers that did him wrong, but he's
Well,
ultimately
yeah,
a good guy deep down.
he is. Well, and that's the ending is like he doesn't have to live in the fields anymore by the lake, and he in the town is all better, right? Like that's
Yeah,
the ending.
right. And he is a weird, twisted form of superhero that helps his
He's the
town.
monster hero.
Yeah, the monster hero. Yes, totally, completely. And that is it's a fun thing. It's as if Beast was, let loose on the town, and people had just accepted Beast, for Beauty and the Beast, just for who he was, rather than just what he looks like.
And that's also kind of the funny part too. Is like so when Peter Dinklage first kind of crawls back to his stepson's apartment, right? And like people see him, they're like, "Oh, it's a goblin! Oh, we got a demon! We gotta unalive him, right? Like get the mob!" And it's like in the original movie, people like when they first saw him, they were like, what the f is this thing?" But like people liked him in the movie. They're like, "Oh yeah, he's a freak, but like also he's cool. Like he saved us."
Right. Yeah. And seeing Dinklage in that role, it just seems it's so out of place, and it's almost too it's too how do I say this? It's too it's too
They play it too straight, I think. So like if the whole movie was done in a way that was kind of like, I don't know, suspend a lot of belief because everything's over the top and like a, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say because the new one, everything, a lot of things are over the top too, but like it doesn't have the same charm. I can't really vocalize why that is, but like it just I don't know, it just doesn't play right. And like I'm just gonna say this: the fact that they had um, basically the knockoff Insane Clown Posse.
yes. Oh yes. I was gonna say, yeah. What was it? Nuts something? Z's nuts or
Yeah, it's it just I that's like a that really reminds me of that meme with oh, what's his name? He's the guy who was the how do you do fellow children?
Oh,
Um
Steve Buscemi.
That was like full on Steve Buscemi, like, look at them, they're so wacky, kids, don't you love it?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the new one, they try to bring in the star power. They try to bring in, more effects and try to make it more flashy and stuff. And it just, to me, it really just fell flat. I mean, I ended up, I was going in and out of sleep. And I wasn't even that tired. I mean, I wasn't tired. I was chilling watching this movie. Oh, Uncanny. Oh, we at least see a can here.
Yeah,
Where'd you
that's
go?
my avatar that I brought to the forefront. By the
Like,
way,
bring it back up. I like it. I like it.
it, can you see it?
I did for a split second. I have it where. Oh, there we go.
So you can just
Schmuck.
see me now.
I see a red. Oh no.
All right, I'll figure it out. Sorry,
Okay.
Ignore it for now.
We'll figure it out. Figure it out. Um.
Yeah, the other thing too is, and like we were kind of talking about this a little bit, but it there was like a simplicity of, ironically, because everything was over the top, right? But like there was a simplicity of the one from 1985, which was the setup was that like basically there's this town in New Jersey that is just like the recipient of all the bad parts of like all the good parts of New York. But it didn't really feel like there definitely was kind of like, societal messaging and stuff, but it didn't feel so over the top. Like it wasn't the central point wasn't that there's some big bad conspiracy. It was just like, wow, this town's filled with a bunch of assholes.
Right. Yes. Yes. Completely. It was everyone's a character. Everyone's over the top, and there wasn't some over. It didn't need to. It doesn't have to have some overarching criminal or corporate greed plot point. And the whole, yeah, again, like the father, the stepfather, and the son, and it's like, oh, I know you wish your mom was around, kid, and I know you wish I was your real dad, but I'm not your real dad. I'm your stepdad. It's like, okay, I mean, yeah, all right.
Well, and it's
How many times have we seen that? We've seen that a million times before,
and
right?
well, here's the thing though. It's like I enjoy a good father son movie because you don't see that too much anymore these days. Maybe a little bit more in recent years, but like I but the thing is like there was this one point where he's like, I'm still your dad, and he's all, no, you're not. You didn't even marry my mom. And like if you listen closely, they had been together for like a year dating before like
Oh,
she died.
oh, wow. I'd
So
be like,
like
sorry, kid, you're on your own, buddy. Got nothing
So
for
like
you
it's
here.
not even like a father dad thing. It's like I mean it's nice that he's taking care of him, but like I don't know. It's not the same as it just, and I'm not even
Yeah,
saying like because
it's
his
more
stepdad, but he's not even
it
a stepdad.
yeah, it's more sad in that context. It's more sad than anything. It's not something that you feel like they have this bond or that they're in this together or that he could add. And the son character adds nothing to the story. I
Nothing.
mean, it would not absolutely nothing. It'd be better if it was just Dinklage and he's getting made fun of as the janitor at this big corporation or whatever. And maybe everyone else are jerks, and then they throw him in the vat, or he falls into the vat and becomes he just gets
The Toxic
revenge. Yeah, the
Avenger.
Toxic Avenger, and revenge is the whole movie. I mean, it does not have to be complicated. It is not complicated at all. It's you just it's straightforward. The it's Toxic Avenger, for goodness sakes. You don't have to. It's like this isn't this isn't Shakespearean methodology or whatever. It doesn't need to be more than what it really is. And this one they try to do too much. They try to make it too flashy. They try to add the star power. Yeah, Kevin Bacon. Elijah Wood was good in it. I thought. I mean,
He was that was my favorite part, by the way, is that Elijah Wood basically, this movie, I love Lord of the Rings, so that always pops in my
yes.
head, right? But like all I could when I first saw him, I was telling my wife, I was like, "Hey, this is basically just if Lord of the Rings kept going and eventually Frodo became Gollum."
Yeah, you're actually right. I was gonna say, I mean, either Frodo being Gollum or him being Gollum here, or yeah, if the greed consumes him and he becomes Gollum, and he's in those even in the earlier stages, and yeah, I mean that he played it well. He played it really well.
Yeah,
I thought like he was a highlight of the movie, which was good. But again, I mean, you get people because it has that campy. The original Toxic Avenger has a fan base. It has that cult following, and I'm sure there's a bunch of celebrities like Kevin Bacon are like, oh yeah, this would be a lot of fun. I get to play the villain, but I mean, they just give him an emo haircut, and they don't really do much with the character. I mean, he's basically kind of like less. He's a less interesting Willem Dafoe's character in Spider-Man. You know,
yeah. No, it's true, and
because it's
I
Oscorp. He's a rich guy, rich CEO, and he's bad, right?
well,
There's
but even then, it's like okay, so And this is what I mean by like, I just don't think Toxic Avenger could be serious, right? Like, and be good because it. So, like, if they wanted to really make it more serious, which it appeared that they did, right? Like, they had literal like underground movement against this major corporation. Like, this isn't like jokey, heady stuff, right? This isn't some fat and competent mayor doing slapstick and like taking meetings in like a sauna, right? Like this is like the themes in this are very serious. And the thing that is kind of annoying is like Kevin, like if you like watch, any classic Kevin Bacon stuff, right? Like in Tremors is a great example. Actually, in Tremors they did great because it was a serious movie that also was funny. But it's like Kevin Bacon is not an idiot, and it's like Kevin Bacon is the main villain, and I'm not afraid of him at all. There's no like I'm not worried about the outcome of like what do I matter if this like idiot and his idiot sycophants go bankrupt? Like that's the story. I
Right. Yeah, and the thing is, he's not bad enough to be so much like, oh, screw this guy. He's just this CEO, rich CEO, who's trying to come up with this formula for, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, it's,
It's well, the thing is like if it's gonna be a serious movie, right? Or I'm not saying every movie, even a serious movie, can't have lighthearted moments, but like they played it like it was a serious movie for most of the movie, and like everyone is just as dumb as a bag of bricks, right? Like the journalist girl, right? That like basically helps out Peter Dinklage.
yeah,
She's describing like this story about how her mom got like cancer and like passed, and it's like she's like she bought every single product, no matter how sick she got, she just kept buying them, and then she got sicker and sicker, and then she bought them more, and it's like, and then you see like the CEO Kevin Bacon, right, the CEO of this company is like barely functional as an adult. I just it's like the why is everyone so stupid in this universe?
you're
And
right.
like,
But it
don't they
isn't
all
even
kind of
over.
deserve their comeuppance because
Yeah,
they're just being so unbelievably dumb?
well, and it isn't even fun stupid. It's
No,
not even over the top fun stupid. It's just
it's not Talladega Nights. It's not Dumb and Dumber. It's not Ace Ventura. Right? It
yeah,
it's just not funny. It's just like, well, you guys are all really dumb and mean, but not in a funny way.
yeah, yeah. So okay, so Toxic Avenger. What would you rate it? What would you rate the original one?
The original one, I mean, it's definitely not high art. Obviously, right? It's not going to be in the
Yeah,
same category at the Oscars as like Lord of the Rings, as far as comedies go, it was actually pretty funny. It was actually really a pretty funny. So like I'll probably give it like a 7 out of 10. Like not star quality, but a little bit above average.
wow, that's pretty high. Okay, okay. Yeah, I
It
mean,
it
yeah,
dragged on a little bit for me. So
it
maybe
it
like
does.
6.5.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes I think are gold. I mean, they're it's really funny. It starts off really strong. It's really over the top, and yeah, I mean that's really cool. But yeah, it does towards the middle. It drags quite a bit. I would give the original one. I'd give it a 3 out of 5 for its charm. I'm gonna be a little bit lenient. I was gonna give it a 2.5, but I'll give it a 3 out of 5.
Okay, I think we could settle on about 6 stars,
Yeah,
six to
about
six
six. I
point
think that's
five.
pretty fair. Yeah, six.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
the new one sucks as a
Oof.
comedy, sucks as a serious drama. I'm gonna
Yeah,
give it like a 3 out of 10.
yeah,
Me,
yeah. That's pretty fair. Yeah, I was gonna say a one. Yeah, 1 out of 5. One or one. Yeah, 1 out of 5. One or 1.5 out of 5. I mean, that's pretty fair. I think that's really fair for it. And nobody asked for it either.
no.
You know what I mean. No, nobody was asking for And like if you're gonna remake it, do it in a really fun, campy way, not just this try to be too serious and schlocky.
And if you are gonna take it serious, and like take it serious, like make people not be idiots.
Right.
Like I don't know.
I didn't care. I didn't care about any of the characters. I mean, Dinklage as the dad, even I didn't care about him. I didn't care. He burns the toast and he's given the toast, and that's supposed to be funny, but it's like you don't know how to make toast, and I don't know. It's just that stuff. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So let's talk. Let's talk about January movies. How about this?
Yes.
Yes. So January 2026 brings big franchise sequels like Greenland 2, Greenland 2, Migration, and horror. In horror, with 28 years later, The Bone Temple, alongside family films like Charlie the Wonder Dog, animated flicks such as All You Need Is Kill, and potential Oscar contenders such as The Chronology of Water.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. But okay. Oh, this one's for you. Re-releases of the Lord of the Rings trilogy are also scheduled. They're
I mean, they're going to be just as good this time, but I don't know if that counts as a new movie.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Oh, and then Return to Silent Hill, a new film based on the iconic horror game series.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it's tough. Like so January is renowned for being the worst month for all theater movies. Basically, these movie companies just throw out their schlock in January. If they don't have a good one, they don't really care. They just got to throw it up in January because they don't expect much from it. There isn't much competition, but there aren't many people going to the theaters in January. It's actually the lowest part of the year in January, so it's not the best time for this. There's a couple others: Mercy, Iron Lung, and Send Help. I mean, I haven't heard of any of these.
So I only, because I know they're kind of staggered when I was looking them up. So I looked at three that were at least three that were opening today, I believe.
Mhm.
I looked at I Was a Stranger, I looked at Greenland 2, and I looked at Primate, which I was interesting to say the least.
Okay, yeah, I just heard about Primate. What it's about a monkey and
So
I'm
okay,
guessing. I'm taking a wild guess.
It's looks pretty bad, but it looks almost so bad that it might be funny. So
Okay.
so you never know. I'm trying to get how to I'm trying to figure out how to just put my avatar in the back. So not sure. That's just a white wall. That doesn't even resemble my house.
Well, hey, I'm talking to a brick wall. What else is new?
All right, I'll keep working on this. But so basically, so so Primate is the rough plot is from the minute and a half trailer I watched is that there's a yuppie family that lives in Hawaii in a nice house, and one of them brought back a monkey or not a monkey, a chimpanzee from somewhere. And
Okay.
by the way, this is not a comedy. I know this sounds like the beginning of a comedy, right? But so they bring back this chimp, and then like she's like, it's a part of the family, and so like so all these people are like using sign language to talk with the chimp, kind of like what you do with the whale people.
Yeah.
And so but then like something breaks into like the backyard at night and bites the chimp, and then the chimp they're like, oh, are you okay, whatever the chimp's name is, and then it like starts growling at them, and they're like, are you okay, and then it bites, and then it breaks, it runs up to its chimp friend and it breaks the girl's arm, and you're like, oh, okay. So then they're like, oh, basically trying to they all they jump into the swimming pool in the backyard, and they're like, "The champ doesn't know how to swim." So then, like, it shows like the how like the scary movies, like they'll do the kind of clip in trailers, right, where it'll be like da da da, and then it shows the chimp arm grabbing one of the girls by the hair out of the middle of the pool somehow. But there is a scene that's beautiful, and this is the point when I laughed. Is this one of the girls gets into her car, and the chimp runs up to the door and tries to open the door, and she locks it just in time, and then the chimp grabs the key fob and goes and opens the back of the SUV, and then she's all 911. This is an emergency. We need help. And then the monkey or the chimp slides in. You know how like the side slide in like horror movies.
Yeah.
So the
Yes.
chimp side slides by her, and then it cuts the back and goes.
What?
And I just like burst into laughter. I was like, this is just yeah. So that's Primate.
Wow. Wow. That's
So I organized my thoughts on the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the good and the ugly are the same for this movie, which is it may be so bad that it's hilarious.
okay.
The bad looks really dumb.
Yeah.
That's about actually, I guess that sums up my thoughts on this movie. So I don't know. I might need to watch it for the comedy aspect. I don't know if you like to watch terrible horror movies for the comedy
Oh
aspect, but
yeah. I love to. Oh yeah.
we may need to reconvene on that one then and discuss it a little bit more in depth after watching it.
Yeah. That. So is it like a? Okay. So oh yeah. Okay. So I'm watching that trailer right now. So it's I'm always get it like they have a computer animated monkey. They always have these. Why do they always do this? The computer animated monkey. It's like Planet of the Apes, or they have. Uh, oh gosh. Oh, there we go. Okay.
I don't know why it's all bizarre and stretched out. I'll keep working. I'm making myself look like a monkey right now.
Talking monkey. Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. It's really funny. I mean, these movies that come out are like who so the top comment from Curious George to Furious George. so stupid. So dumb. Yeah, yeah, oh, someone else said had to be the most January horror movie ever. That explains it. Yeah, January horror movies. I mean, that's just really that sums it up right there.
Yes.
Uh, January horror movies are renowned, or January movies in general. But yeah, January horror is renowned or infamous for being just really bad. But I'm gonna January movies plus movie night. Okay, it's movie night, guys. It's movie night, baby.
I like your intro, by the way. It gets me all jazzed up.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's good. It's been a little bit of a quiet night in terms of audience. We haven't had anyone come in yet, which is fine. It's okay. We're building
Yeah, it's clip material.
Yeah, we're building an audience here.
So, all right. The other two that I watched are the next one I'll talk about is I Was a Stranger, which
it's like I was a stranger, but then you got to know me, and now I'm your friend. It's like what?
it's like Call Me Maybe when she said
yeah. Call me maybe.
and she was I missed you so bad before you were in my life, and it's like what?
Right. Yeah. How do you miss someone that was never in your life? It's like
so. All right. So this movie is a lot more serious than Primate or what's it called? Toxic Avenger. It's a movie about basically like refugees fleeing the Levant, like Syria. And so like okay, so I did a little bit of digging on this one. So it's by Angel Studios, which is the same people that did um the
Sound of
Sound of
Freedom.
Freedom.
Yep.
Yep.
And the David
So
movie that's out right now.
yeah, I didn't watch David, but I did hear that it was pretty interesting.
You heard it
Um
was interesting, or was it good? Interesting.
uh well, okay, the person I heard that it was good from is does not always have the best movie takes, so
Gotcha.
good with
Okay.
a grain of salt.
Okay. Yeah.
So the good is it looks like it has decent action. It looks like it had some real sets instead of just being CGI.
Okay.
Um, and it's an interesting topic, and it is by the makers of The Sound of Freedom. So, like, I like that movie. I thought they did. It's a
Oh, I
little
love that movie.
campy,
I love that movie.
it's a little campy, but it is good, right? Like, it takes itself seriously.
I didn't really think
Um,
it was campy at all. Where do you think it was campy?
I think it's just I think some of the actors' lines were a little bit cheesy once in a while because I don't know they're not like I think big name actors, but um, yeah, I liked it though. So uh, the bad, it looks like it could be pretty preachy and kind of on the nose.
Okay, which is this movie again? What movie is this?
I was a stranger.
I Was a Stranger. Okay. That is
Yeah,
a terrible name for a movie, by the way. It's a horror. I Was a Stranger. That's terrible. What are these people
yeah.
thinking when they come up with movies ideas? I was a. I'm looking at the. I'm looking at the cover. As this comes out, this doesn't come out yet.
I think it came out today.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
So, so in terms of the ugly, it I don't recognize any of the actors,
Yeah.
which means that the talent could potentially be kind of hokey.
Right.
You
Well,
never
I
know.
mean,
It could be
yeah, you never
good,
know.
but
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes I like, I would rather prefer to see a no-name actor than some actor that I've seen 1,000 times. And then the problem with a lot of big actors is that they have the baggage of every other role that they've ever played before them.
you
So,
mean like The Rock?
yeah, like The Rock, exactly. Which I do want to see the Smashing Machine. By the way, have you seen anything about that?
I
Where
haven't.
he looks completely different in it. Well, they just kind of gave him no eyebrows, so they put like makeup over his eyebrows, so he looks more of like a blockhead.
Oh, you know
And
what? I did see that. I did see some sort of ad for that, and it was he is weird. He didn't look like The Rock in that. Like I guess they did a pretty good job of kind of changing what he looks like.
yeah, and apparently his acting is really good in it. So who knows? I mean, who knows? It could be good. Maybe he just doesn't really. I mean, he doesn't really have to do much because he's The Rock. He can get plenty he can get plenty of work as himself and not have to really do much else. You know. But yeah. Anyway, so this movie,
Well,
I Was a Stranger.
well, one other thing about like the Rock and this new movie, right? Because it's I think we might have talked a little bit about it before. It's like a almost like a biographical movie about a wrestler. But like The Rock and his dad were both in wrestling, so like maybe kind of I don't know. Maybe it's like kind of like a passion project a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, and there's a lot behind that too. There's a lot of stuff. I like the movie The Wrestler. That's a really good movie with
Yep.
Mickey Rourke. And did you ever see that one?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm working on stepping up my movie game.
Okay. All right. You got a long ways to go. Okay. All right. We got but yeah, anyway, going back to I Was a Stranger. I'm looking at the trailer right now. Oh wow. It won all these film festivals.
It did.
Yeah, that's always kind of my fear with some of these Angel movies is that some of them do come across as cheesy and preachy. You know, that's kind of would be my fear. I saw the one with Samwise Gamgee in it,
Which
and
one was that one?
oh man, what's the actor's name? Sean, um, Angel Studios movie. Sean Astin. Sean Astin.
Hmm.
The Shift. I saw the movie The Shift.
How was
Have
that
you
one?
have you
What's
heard?
that one about?
It's it's really bad. I'm sorry. It's pretty bad.
Oh,
It's
really?
yeah. It's yeah.
Even though
It's
it's got your Sam in it?
yeah. I know. I love Sam too. So it okay. After a tense encounter with a mysterious stranger with otherworldly powers, a man finds himself banished to a parallel Earth where he fights to get back to the woman he loves.
Yeah, that sounds a little.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Here's a better one. The Shift is a faith-based sci-fi film. As soon as you start with
Oh.
yeah, so The Shift is a faith-based sci-fi film, often compared to the Book of Job, following a man who loses everything after a disagreement, leading to a dystopian reality where he's tempted by a devil-like figure to work for him, shifting realities and facing profound choices about good and evil. With mixed critical reviews but strong audience appreciation for its depth, hope, and performances, despite some finding it preachy or confusing.
Well, and there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of yeah, and I kind of went to the movies with this one gal, and she was interesting. But she throughout the whole movie, she's like, "Oh, oh no, oh, oh, oh." I'm like, "Oh my god, you don't have to do that after every single thing that happens in the movie." Like,
Oh.
I'm like, "Oh, oh, oh." Yeah, that was weird. I never talked to that girl ever again. But anyway, it's another.
So you
Just
give
kidding.
her a 2 out of 5 star?
Yeah, what 0.5 out of 5. Point.
Oh, that's pretty bad when you're making Toxic Avenger, the new one, look pretty good.
No, okay. The Shift is better than the new Toxic Avenger because at least had something positive to say about it. But yeah,
And it did have Sam in it.
yeah. But Sam seemed to be phoning it in, dude. I'm sorry. He seemed to be really phoning it in, and he's it. I don't know. It's kind of sad seeing that happen because he doesn't seem to be the type of guy that would be phoning stuff in. You know?
No, I actually really liked that actor. So there was this one. So you know the TV show Monk.
Yes, love it.
Uh, Great show. The guy who plays Monk, who's also in Spy Kids, he's a wonderful actor. I always forget his. I'm terrible.
Oh
at
yeah,
names.
and he's in Men in Black as well.
Yes, he is,
Yes,
and
yes,
he does
yes.
great in that one too.
Yes.
So there was this episode of Monk where there was like this like rich playboy that like ended up unaliving this lady, right? And so he's like Monk's trying to solve the case. And the rich playboy that unalived that girl in the show was Samwise Gamgee. And
Oh really?
I'm like, listen, bro, you're never
Wow.
going to play a part where you convince me that you're like a sleazy murderer.
Yeah.
He like exudes nice guy
Nice.
vibes.
Yes, 100%. What movie is this? I might have to.
It was an episode of Monk. I can't remember exactly which one
Oh,
it
okay.
was.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so I always sometimes when I think of him, I think of that episode of Monk, and I'm like, I don't know. I've never seen him be the bad guy in anything else except for that one episode of Monk.
Yeah, I normally like seeing a character that's typically kind of typecast a bit to be something completely different. I typically like to see that, but sometimes there's a reason why they don't do that.
Yeah, like Jack What was that? Like Jack Nicholson playing a sane guy.
You're right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Something low key where he's Jack Nicholson. And
Yeah. Sorry, my dog's got in a fight. Sounded like
oh.
temperamental little dogs. So okay, so the next one is Greenland 2. And all right, so I did not watch Greenland 1, but I did watch a trailer for Greenland 1, and um I also did a bit of a dive and read some reviews on it. And then I watched the trailer for Greenland 2. And what are your thoughts about Greenland 1? Did you watch it?
I did not watch Greenland 1. No. I didn't
Okay.
even know there was a Greenland 1 until I saw a trailer for Greenland 2, which is
Okay.
another terrible name for a movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So I'll give you a quick synopsis. So, first of all, both movies are the main character is Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
I have now this is just like I know my movie game ain't that strong, but my experience with Gerard Butler is that he tends to play, and he does it pretty well. He tends to play the kind of like chauvinistic, slightly slimy guy with a heart of gold who ends up with the main woman protagonist at the end of the movie. And I know that from watching Bounty Hunter and Ugly Truth.
Okay. I haven't seen
And
either
so
one of those.
you haven't? Okay.
No.
Well, they're basically rom-coms. So
Okay.
Gerard Butler is well versed in being in rom-coms, and he's done some voice acting in some movies like How to Train Your Dragon. So I don't know. I like Gerard Butler, but it's kind of like you're talking about, right? Is like it's not the movies that I tend to see him in. But Greenland 1 is basically Gerard Butler and his family are like kind of, middle class yuppies, and they like there's comets that are coming to Earth, and like so everyone's like, "Oh, look in the sky and there's comets and they're going to be all close." And then it's like, "But wait, they're going to be too close." And then and the comments. So then they like there's this broadcast, or like he finds out through some conversation he's eavesdropping in that like there's like all the politicians and military are heading to Greenland because there's secret bunkers, and then there's like there's like a lottery system and they win the lotto to go to the
What?
bunkers.
I see. So a certain amount of people get picked to
Yeah.
become the lucky ones. Okay.
One of the reviews said that this is basically a failed, less interesting version of the movie 2012. So that's a setup for number one. So number two looks like they survived in the Greenland bunker, and they're gonna leave the safety of Greenland to go wandering around in the world post what should have been extinction event level comets hitting us. And then did you watch the trailer for this one?
I watched the trailer for the second one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay. I just want to preface this with saying I love stuff like Interstellar, right? Like, did you watch Interstellar with what's his name in it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Oh, yeah. We can get into Interstellar. I'd
oh
love
yeah.
to. Yeah.
I like Interstellar a lot. So like there's the scene, right, with like the giant wave on there when they're on that
Yes.
one planet.
That was the best
That
scene in the movie.
I love that scene because it's like a twist, right? You realize like, oh, it's been 30 minutes on this planet and it's been 7 years on outside of this planet, right? It's really
Yeah.
cool, and like the giant wall of water is just terrifying, right?
Yes.
They have this in the trailer of like basically a tsunami, and there's like all these crazy weather events going on. And this is kind of where I'm at. I'm like, well, why are you guys right by the shore when there's like crazy tsunamis?
Right.
Right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
It's like it's just one of those. Once again, it's one of those, and I haven't seen it. Maybe there's like a reason, but it feels like it's. I'm just trying to think. Like this movie is supposed to be super serious, right?
yeah.
Why are people doing what seems to be beyond stupid things that no real living human would actually do?
Yes, 100%. Yes. Well, and that's the thing is like there is a certain amount of suspension of disbelief with when you go to a movie and you want to see some type of action. But then there's like
Oh,
too much. It's like, okay, guys, there's going to be a tsunami. Let's not go suntanning on the beach right now. It's probably not the good time
but
to
that's where
do
the
that.
food is, Tremaine. We have to
There's
go to the
food inland.
food.
There's food inland. There's food inland. Would you rather starve or die? That's a good question.
So
Uh,
the good that I had was Gerard Butler. I do like him as an actor. I think he's pretty good.
yeah.
Um, I haven't seen him in anything that is more serious, but he may pull it off. Uh, it looks actiony. It looks like there's stuff happening, which is good, right? In general, stuff
Mm-hmm.
happening is good in a
Mm-hmm.
movie.
Yeah,
Uh,
stuff happening is good. You're right. You're right.
hopefully it's good stuff, but like,
Yeah. Well,
the
some stuff happening is better than no stuff happening in a movie. I
yes.
think. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, the bad. So, all right, like I said, I haven't seen either of these movies, but like I'm just going based off of clips. There are some actors and roles where like there's chemistry, right? Like there are some actors like as much as everyone people make fun of me for saying this, but like when you watch The Notebook, right? Like there is chemistry between the two people whose names I'm forgetting.
Ryan
Um,
Gosling and Rachel McAdams.
Yes, like they do well. Like I could believe that this is like a will they or won't they kind of like lovers going through troubles in life, right?
Yeah.
I did not feel any chemistry between Gerard Butler and the actress playing his wife.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I feel that same way about the Venom movies. It's
Mm.
Tom Hardy and then that horrible whatever her name is that I don't know how the hell she gets in so many different movies. Michelle something, I forget, but she's atrocious. And she's wearing a stupid wig in this movie. She's obviously wearing a really horrible wig. It's like and we expect her to believe that she's dating Tom Hardy. I mean, come on. Like I don't believe that for a second. It's just it's just that was so miscast the Venom movie. They have to have chemistry. And especially if it's a love interest, some type of love interest, they have to have some type of on-screen chemistry and it's palpable when you see it. And then it's also not palpable when it's when you see that. I mean, you can tell that there isn't a chemistry or it's forced or it's something that or there's ways to act that way. I get it. Like you can act, it's their job. Even if they don't feel that chemistry, they can act like it is. But at the same time, I just don't, I just don't
I,
see that.
yeah, it's just something. I mean, it's just something that's there or it's not. Like it's just it. I hate to use this phrase, but like it is a vibe thing, right?
Well, totally. Well, it's a casting thing, is what it is. It's casting, and so if you cast it right, half the job is already done for you. I mean, because you cast it right, you do what's called a chemistry test with the actors, and you see if they're able to, if there's any chemistry there, and it's either palpable or it isn't. I mean, it's as simple as that. So yeah.
By the way, I actually really do like Tom Hardy, and one of my favorite movies with him. I don't know if you're gonna agree or if you're gonna hate my opinion on this. Is
Okay.
Mad Max Fury Road? I think
Dude,
he did
I
really
love
good.
that movie. That movie's
Okay,
amazing. Oh, dude. That movie is badass, dude. I've seen that 2 or 3 times. That movie is.
it's
I
good.
love that movie. I love that movie.
Um,
Um,
and I just think that he did it's so I did a little bit of not to derail too much, but I did a little bit of digging on that too, and uh I guess that Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy like hate each other.
Really interesting.
Yes. Like they did not get along at all, and at one point I think that Charlize Theron basically refused to be in the same area as him.
Oh, give me a break. Oh gosh. Gee, these idiots
Eh,
are just
a little bit
uh
of I mean, I don't have to tell you this, but some movie stars can be a little divas. So
yes, absolutely. For no reason too. And it's really interesting. I have a feeling that I don't know. Now I think I have more respect for Tom Hardy and less respect for Charlize Theron. Because I feel like Tom Hardy is someone that he's professional. You work with him, and I don't know. I don't know what her deal was, but yeah, I don't know what her deal is. But
yeah.
I'm
Well,
I'm
there's
I'm with
cats and
Tom
dogs.
Hardy. I'm with Tom Hardy
I
because I think he's one of the best actors today. I mean, he really is. He's really good. I mean, Charlize Theron is a really good actress,
She
but
is.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. They don't get along for some reason. I think like sometimes to be fair, it's just personalities don't mesh that well. But I will say this: they are both professional enough to one keep doing the movie, and two they did a great job. Like they may hate each other's guts, but they worked well together.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is that as long as they're able to be professionals and do their jobs and at least make it look like they can like each other or that they're playing their role or sometimes it could be palpable if they're playing bitter enemies and they actually are in real life. That could be really helpful. I mean, there's a lot of on screen famous beefs. For instance, Bill Murray and Chevy Chase on the set of Caddyshack. They hated each other. They absolutely hated each other, and so um, they
Well,
famously hated each other. But they still did their job.
well, wasn't it? I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was Bill Murray, and then I think it might have been. It wasn't Aykroyd. It was oh, it was the other guy that worked on Groundhog Day with him. Um, Ramus. I think it was
Oh yeah, Remus or
Remus. Yeah,
yeah,
like Harold Remus.
Harold Remus. Yeah.
They. I think that they basically ended their friendship over that movie,
Wow.
which
Oh,
was like kind
Remus.
of
Yeah.
crazy.
Wow.
But they still produced a damn good movie.
Exactly. Well, wait, Remus and
Murray.
Murray?
Well,
Really?
so I was kind of like, it might have been Critical Drinker. I was watching with his video about it, and then I kind of looked it up to, confirm. And yeah, I guess that Bill Murray was going through a divorce, and like he was like, they basically, I guess it was kind of like just a nightmare of a production because they actually filmed in the snow, right? So they got like they were basically trying to recreate sets every day by plowing snow and like dealing with big storms and then Murray had a vision for the movie that I guess Ramis did not have and well, that was enough to basically I think that they never I don't even know if they worked together again after that.
Wow. That's sad. That's too bad. Well, it's tough because there's actors that there goes my light. There's actors that think that they know the story better than the filmmaker.
Yeah.
And that's what's really frustrating. Or there's people that they're like, oh, why isn't the movie like this? It's like, dude, you're not the filmmaker. You're not the, you know what I mean? And not in a way that they just don't see what the filmmaker sees. And
Well, and the other thing too is like okay, I know it's a little ironic, right? Because we're also kind of critiquing films, but like if it's a good movie, then it's like you probably shouldn't be Monday night chair like quarterback, right? But like if it's a crap movie, then yeah, it's probably fine to be like, why do they even do that? But like Groundhog Day was such a good movie, and it's like a shame that they. But I've also heard that Bill Murray is kind of a pain in the ass to deal with in general.
I've heard that too. I have heard that too. And I mean, Chevy Chase is renowned one of the worst to ever work with.
See, I was surprised to hear that.
I'm not surprised at all to hear that. I really am not, because I could just tell. I don't know. Maybe that's a gift of mine. I don't know. I could just tell that they're not that they're, it's like James Corden. I always like, what is it about this guy that I don't. He's like likable on camera, but I don't know. There's something wrong with this guy. And then, sure enough, turns out he's a jerk, a real jerk to regular people in real life.
Yeah, unfortunately, not everybody can be Keanu Reeves.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and another big one that I was kind of surprised, but the more I look at it, it makes more sense. Is Steve? I almost said Steve Harvey. No, I think Steve Harvey's nice. I think Steve Harvey's nice to everyone. He's really nice. But Steve Martin. Steve Martin. Apparently Steve Martin is terrible. Like, if there's a waiter, he won't even look at them. He'll just like,
That's surprising. Order. I mean, because he does play like the quintessential like American family dad kind of.
But he also plays the jerk.
That's true.
In the movie The Jerk.
He didn't need his thermos or his lamp. By the way, The Jerk. It's so funny. Is like I feel like you and I are probably strange for knowing that movie for our relative ages, right?
Yeah,
like being in our 30s. Most people our age don't know that movie, but that movie is one of my favorite comedies.
Oh, it's funny. It's hilarious. Yeah, he is hilarious. I mean, he's a comic mastermind. I mean, and Steve Martin was in his 50s when he was in his 20s. I mean, he was the same age, when he was 30.
Yeah,
he looked the same age. Yeah, he hasn't aged at all, because he looked like he was in his 50s or 60s when he was in his 20s or 30s. And
he's like the male version of Jennifer Aniston.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although she's always looked good. She hasn't looked older like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She is not barely aged like since she started doing Friends.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly.
So, I love, okay, I know we're kind of derailing from the topic at hand, but just real quick, what's one of your favorite lines from The Jerk? One of my favorite is when he's working at the gas station. And then the guy, he's like, I'm finally in the phone book. I'm somebody. And then it pans to that guy being like, I'm going to take out this Nathan Daniels or whatever. I'm going to take out this ordinary son of a B. This just normal Joe Schmo working guy.
Dude,
and then he starts shooting at the cans, and he's like, he hates the cans.
Dude, I haven't. It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
Oh, you got to watch it again. It holds up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet it does. Yeah. Well, it's an interesting concept for a movie, and the fact that they made it too is pretty funny.
They would not be able to make that movie again today.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I don't think something like that would be made today.
Well, considering it started off with him saying, "I was born a poor black child in the South."
Oh yeah. I mean, that is funny. That is funny. I mean,
that's super funny, bro.
Because he's yeah. Well, that's the thing. Someone like Steve Martin though can get away with that, and it's funny because he doesn't mean it that way. He's just no. It's the character. He is that character. Like he thinks
he's completely earnest when he says it. Like, right. And that's like the whole plot of the movie. Like, anyway, I won't get into the whole plot, but like it's played straight, and it's like you said, it's not malicious. It's literally supposed to be like, it's like shock humor, kind of, not like super shocky, but kind of like unexpected kind of humor.
Yeah. Have you seen him in Bowfinger?
I haven't. Is that a Steve Martin movie?
Yes, he plays a amateur filmmaker wannabe and like I could relate to this movie so much. And he's making his newest movie, and he tells everyone that Kit Ramsey, who's the biggest star in Hollywood, and that's played by Eddie Murphy. He tells everyone that Kit Ramsey is in their movie and agreed to be in the movie. When he didn't, he's just lying. He's telling the whole crew, the cast and crew, and he goes, "We need to find the best damn crew that." He saves $1 a week since he was 12 years old or whatever, and then he's 49, and I think he saves up $5,384 or something like that, and he's like, we need to get the best damn crew we could find, and then he's at the Mexico border, and he's like, andale. He gets everyone in his van, and then they drive away, and then he's got the film crew, and it's just funny. It's about like a filmmaker that has no budget, but he's finagling his way through Hollywood, and he's got a fake.
It's basically, it sounds kind of like the plot of The Producers.
Very similar, yeah, very very similar. But it's one of my favorite. It's directed by Frank Oz, the voice of Yoda. And
really,
yeah. Frank Oz is hilarious. It's a really funny movie. It's a 1999 movie. Well, 1999 is probably one of the best years in movies. I mean, that should be a topic for another podcast in general. But
I'm down. Maybe we can do like pick a few movies, watch them, and then talk about them.
Yeah, and even just having a list of 1999 movies. I mean, that's a juggernaut year for movies.
Yeah, there was something about the mid 90s to like the mid 2000s was a pretty peak era. Maybe part of it's nostalgia because that's when I grew up, but like I don't know, like there's part of the 80s were pretty good, like with a lot of classics that came out, but there's something about that turn of the century that was golden peak time.
Right, yeah, it was because it's movies trying to really push limits, and there wasn't as much like political stuff or PC stuff in it, and there's still stuff that's over the top, but it wasn't too over the top. I don't know. It's just
you're right. I think people were more willing to kind of take chances with like what they were doing.
Yes, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, they were just really going for it.
All right, so to pull us back to Greenland 2.
Okay.
I'm yanking us way back. So, all right. So my bad for this was, like I said, they didn't seem like they had a lot of chemistry. The plot looks kind of convoluted and kind of looks like product mush.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
The ugly is the natural disasters, like I said, in the situations, they look very unbelievable and immersion breaking. So like in a sci-fi, and maybe I don't know, maybe this could be. I don't really consider this a sci-fi movie. There's not like a lot of the sci part of it, right? It's more of just like
more of the
survival.
It's just all the fi, no sci.
Exactly right. But like in something like Interstellar, like I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
By the way, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, what's up?
Well, I said, by the way, I think Interstellar is grossly overrated as a movie.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna, fall down at the knees and start worshiping it or nothing, but I liked it for what it did. It's worth a watch every few years.
Okay.
Maybe. But anyway, so like when he's on the planet, right, and you're like, there's a mega tsunami of water. It's kind of one of those things that because it is sci-fi, it's like, well, when I read about Jupiter and how there's storms that are like 20 times the size of Earth and they've been raging for 200 million years.
Right.
I'm like, I can believe a planet with giant mega like skyscraper tsunamis just randomly happening all the time. But this is Earth, and I'm not buying it.
Right. Yeah, it becomes that thing where, once you said 2012, but not as good. I mean, because 2012
high tech arc, bro.
Because 2012 was not that good either.
No.
No, I mean, yeah. Remember when everyone thought something was going to happen in 2012? It was like 2012 because the Mayan calendar ended in 2012. So that means the world is going to end too.
Yeah, that was silly. I'm trying to remember what year did 2012 come out?
I think it came out in 2012.
Did it come out?
I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
it came out in 2009. For
Oh,
some
2009.
reason, in my brain, I thought it came out after 2012, and I was going to be like, I don't know. It seemed to diffuse the. We survived it, right? It's kind of like whenever you
Oh, we're
background's
seeing
coming in.
through. Oh,
Don't exactly why that's happening, but anyway, so like it's kind of immersion breaking a little bit. Oh, there's the wall. I'll
I'm
figure
talking.
out this camera thing one of these days.
Dude, you should just come on camera. You should be on camera. Come on, man. Come on.
I know, but I'm kind of a wuss. So
No, you're not a wuss. Yeah.
you want to look at my see now you can see my countertop. Anyway,
It's a nice countertop.
thank you. But yeah, so I don't know. I thought the 2012 thing was kind of silly. I I also I like the idea of like the comet striking the earth and all that. It was interesting when I watched Armageddon with Bruce Willis
I
like
was gonna
20
say,
years ago.
yeah, it's done. It's been done better. There was Armageddon, then there was Deep Impact. Deep Impact
Yeah.
was a fun one. I like that one. I like that one better than. Well, I like Armageddon as well. I like
Armageddon
both
is
of them.
kind of also kind of like a buddy road trip movie fused with like an existential sci-fi horror movie.
Right? Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have Steve Buscemi who's like hitting on women in bars, and they're like the guy with the cowboy hat. He's like, yeah, like let's go wrestle us up a comet, and they're literally like, all right, we're gonna assemble a crew, but in order to get them to go into space, you have to give them some sort of treasure, right? Like it does feel kind of like a space pirate movie with Bruce Willis in it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's just a fun. I don't know. I do like the big scale disaster type movies where everything's larger than life. Independence Day is one of my favorite ones.
Oh, classic Independence Day with what's his name?
Randy Quaid, Will
my
Smith.
Will Smith. My brain. It's been a long day. It's
okay.
been a long week.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long life. Yeah, no. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, okay. So other January movies. What other January movies? So I Was a Stranger. All right, we talked about that. We talked about Greenland 2.
Sorry, are you gonna watch Greenland too?
Probably not. Yeah, I mean, I don't. If I'm gonna spend time, effort, energy, and money on a movie, it's got to be something that I really want to watch. I do want to watch. I want to watch The House Guest with Sydney Sweeney in that. Have you?
I haven't seen any trailers for that one.
It came out a couple weeks ago, and it's supposed to be pretty good, like a thriller type movie. I love thriller. I love me some thrillers. Yeah, so I want to see that one. Or The Housemaid. Sorry, not The House Guest. The Housemaid.
The Housemaid.
You haven't heard of that one?
I have not actually. Oh, maybe if I'm gonna look it up and see if it looks familiar, but
it'll look familiar. A strong young woman is relieved by the chance for a fresh start as a maid for a wealthy couple. Soon she discovers that the family's secrets are far more dangerous than her own. And it's grossed domestically $82 million, and it's a rated R movie. that came out mid-December. Which
2022.
no, 2025.
Really?
It just came out a couple weeks ago.
Oh, it's
Yes.
based on a book that came out in 2022.
Wow, that's crazy that the books came out so that not that long ago. Remember when everything used to be, oh, it's based on a book that happened, 100 years ago. Now they're finally doing it.
Yeah, the problem is that they've already cannibalized the movies that cannibalized the books, so they really got to start, scraping the barrel.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's like Ready Player One was the same thing. It was. I think the book came out a couple years before the movie came out. Um,
I didn't watch the movie, but how was that? Because I did read the book.
it was fun. It was really fun. It's the lead character though sucked. I'm gonna say he was terrible because he's about as plain Jane as it goes. He was speaking of what character we're talking about. We're saying is Milk Toast. Is an actor that's just Milk Toast.
You talking about the guy who played PETA and what is his name? But yeah, no, he's the one that was in Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes, yeah, it's similar. Yeah, he's slightly better than that guy, but it's similar situation. And so everyone else around him is really good, and he's a video game character for most of the movie. So, but
I kind of care. Wait, was he was the main character?
yeah, no, not the same guy, but it's a guy it's the guy that's played Cyclops in the new X-Men. So like,
Oh yeah,
and then he's also wearing a VR thing in this movie, so you only see like his bottom lips. He's got these huge lips, and he's just kind of like, ooh, I don't know. He's yeah. Ready Player One. Yeah, he's kind of how do you say? You know what? I'll show the audience what I'm talking about. This kid right here. This guy. You see
oh
him?
yeah.
It's just like he's just generic type dude.
I don't know, man. I don't know how. I mean, I guess you have to have somebody to play your characters, right? But like,
Yeah, this guy. Yeah, there's just no personality. I mean, he's just there. I like a Marty McFly, for example, is someone who you care about the character. He's got personality. He's struggles. You see the ups and downs. This guy's just kind of the same. He's one note the whole time. He just looks like that.
what's funny is I actually I heard because how like his love interest and eventual girlfriend, right? She has like basically like she got like in an accident or something, and so
Yeah.
like um her face is supposed to be all like jacked up. And one of the things that like I can't because like it's in the books, right? She's like really jacked up. Like that's one reason why she gets so involved in like the internet world is because she's like has these massive like basically I forgot if they're birthmarks or like some sort of accident or something. But like
Oh yeah. In this
but like
one,
in
she
the
has
movie,
like a
it's like
really.
a little it's like a little birthmark, like a tiny little like
It's
basically
a
like a dimple
very
or something.
tiny birthmark that she has on her face. She's like, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed about this."
Right, which is like because like it's funny because in the book like that's like a big deal and it's actually I will say this like it that the first chapter of that book was insufferable to me
Oh,
but
really?
yes it's like this whole I mean I guess it makes sense because so the main character of that is like he's basically like a nihilist a little bit, right? Like he does like he literally the first chapter is like God doesn't exist and it's all BS and everything's BS. And you're like, wow, this sounds like an insufferable teenager who just found Reddit and has been deep reading for the last month. And then you're like, oh, wait, he is playing a teenager who's insufferable and basically has gone through Reddit. And you're like, Okay, it plays.
Yeah, like that makes sense. Yeah, that tracks.
But like that's the funny part of the whole thing is like they get like legendary, right? Like in their online, basically like Mark Zuckerberg meta world, right? Um, but like in reality, she's like this horribly scarred faced like girl that's super self conscious and like. And the main character is named Wade, and he's like some Oklahoma City like living in a trailer park kid.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which so yeah, I don't
Or
know.
Ohio. Yeah, he's in Ohio and he's in this really crappy trailer park and he's yeah, but I mean, I can see that happening with the future. People are just in this trailer park and then they're just attached to their virtual world, living their virtual world, living in really tiny, packed like rats. And I just see that. I could see that happening. Easy.
Well, I mean that already exists in Japan, so
True. Yeah. 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 Exactly.
yeah, that's not bad. I thought I need to watch the movie because I actually did enjoy the first book. The second book, I really don't know how. I mean, they could make a movie out of anything, right? But like, there's like uh 50 to like 60 solid pages where they just talk about Prince. And I'm like, who loves Prince enough to read about him for 60 pages?
Jeez, that's insane.
It was insufferable.
Well,
So I don't know. I guess if you really like Prince, maybe you really want them to make a sequel.
yeah, yeah. Wait, so is that in the sequel or is that in
Yeah, it's in Ready Player 2.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna make a Ready Player 2, but probably I don't know, probably. I think it did okay in the box office, Ready Player 1. But um but yeah, again, it's Steven Spielberg. I think you'll like it because there's a lot of references to older stuff. But yeah, it made $500 million. Over
Yeah, I mean,
607
it's
million.
got it gets like a older generation that has nostalgia for the 80s.
Yeah.
And it also gets the younger generation that like is terminally online.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's best of
Which I'm
both
not
worlds.
throwing stones because I live in a glass house when it comes to that. But
Same. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I think you dig it. I mean, if you like the book, I mean, I think you like the movie, and it is good. I mean, aside from the milk toast lead character, everyone else kind of carries it pretty well, and yeah.
cool.
Okay, what else? What other January movies we got looking coming up? Oh, 28 years later, the Bone Temple.
So that sounds like a rip off adult film of 28 Days Later.
You're going to the Bone Temple.
I mean, right? Like that's not just me.
Apparently, there is. I think, dude, Cillian Murphy is in this one. Oppenheimer himself is in it.
Really?
And so is Ray Fiennes. So Ray Fiennes is in it, and he's a phenomenal actor. I mean,
Cillian Murphy actually, he was in the first one. He was the protagonist.
I know, and he wasn't in 28 Years Later though.
And he was not in 28 days or 28 weeks later either.
Right. So I wonder why he made it here, and it's a January movie. So it's like all the signs, all the Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's good. He was in the last one. Ray Fiennes is an excellent actor. He's fantastic. So this might be a sleeper hit. I don't know, but it's interesting why they would have a 28 years later, and then they would have another one a couple months later.
Yeah, that was kind of weird when you were telling me about that. Like they just had the other one come out, and
And it
does
had
that mean
been
that they were
28
filming
years.
both at the same time?
They must have been. That's a good question. But 28 years later, I think went straight to Netflix, didn't it? I think.
Oh, I think you might be right. I know that it was at least on there pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
How do you feel about the kind of straight to streaming service phenomena that's been getting more popular since COVID?
I don't really like it because there isn't a lot of hype for movies in theaters anymore, except for a couple select few ones. And then the streaming things, it's just things are just out now. It's like things are just out. Oh, by the way, there's 10 seasons of the new season of this, and or 10 episodes of a new season of this, and then you watch. It's like it's already out. Squid Games, for example, came out. Squid Games 1 was great. I felt like I got cheated because it was like a 10-hour long feature film. I thought it was really well made. But then the second season wasn't even a second season. It was like 1.5. And
Really?
it completely really lost me big time. But they have so much, like, thing is, streaming services have so much money. They want to do is keep making content, and they just want everyone to stay on their platform at all times. That's what they want.
Oh yeah.
But there's a difference between trying to get butts and seats in the theater and then or trying to get people to just watch something, because they really would rather have someone watch 10 episodes of a new season than to go spend $10 or $20 on watching a movie and then that's it.
You,
So
you know how when like companies get really like wealthy, or like people get really wealthy, and then they basically come up with like pet projects that would absolutely lose money on their own, but they have so much money that they don't. I kind of feel like that's the streaming thing, and like I think part of it is like, because so I was kind of looking into this, and you know how Disney basically is trying to own everything.
yeah,
Um,
they already do own most of everything. And then
right.
yeah,
So like, I so when I was kind of looking into like some of their new, like for example, their new like Star Wars mini series, right, that came out, the one about the Sith witches, basically. They So like somebody was basically trying to break down how they actually determine if that makes or loses any money. And then like when they were kind of starting to break this down, is it's not even that it's just very difficult to see, right? Which you can kind of get some metrics for. Like watch times for specific programs, like how many people watch it all the way through versus leave early. But from what I've heard, actually, is that Disney itself is basically like trying to fudge the numbers. So they'll like basically, instead of breaking everything out into kind of like easier to see categories, they basically like will mask watch times that they lose on these Star Wars things by like masking it with ESPN, which is
Mm,
like, of course you're going to get a lot of people watching ESPN, because that's how a lot of people are going to watch football.
right.
Which
Yeah.
like, so that's where I'm like, is it so like I remember when one of the big ones when they first did this was the live action Mulan movie, which I despise. Um
Yeah.
is they released that straight to Disney Plus. And I
Wow.
think it's because if the one is because it was during, the Rona. But part of me also thinks that it was because they figured it might actually just flop hard, and they need to release it because they already made it, but they didn't want to like prove that it was not good. I don't know. That was just kind of my thoughts on it.
Well, and also it's a blanket. It's a blanket, because if that movie were to come out to the U.S., I don't think it would have done well, and
No.
that, which means they would rather say, "Hey, we'll make less money by putting it straight to Disney Plus, but we'll save our face because it won't be another Snow White abomination type deal." you
Oh
know,
man, or that Snow White thing was a trip. I can't believe what happened with that movie.
dude, I know. I almost want to watch it now because of how terrible at like how horribly botched they did that. They had seven dwarves, but then they called them something else, and then people were outraged that they hired actual dwarves to play those characters. So they're like, where are the actual seven dwarves? They're like, okay, let's reshoot it with computer animated seven dwarves. So there's another seven dwarves that are the actual seven dwarves that should have been the same seven dwarves to begin with. So now there's 14 dwarves in the movie. Half of them are computer animated, the other half aren't. And then they're trying which is terrible. It's too many dwarves. And then you got Snow White, who's like her. The description is her skin is white as snow, and she's like, she's tan.
And
she's
let's just be
tan.
real, right? Is like mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And you think Gal Gadot is? You think that what's her name that plays Snow White can even hold a candle to Gal Gadot?
Not a Wonder Woman. Yeah, you think she can hold a candle to Wonder Woman? Hell no. And yeah, do you think like the evil queen is gonna be jealous of her? And she's got all the powers and the money and the looks. Yeah, it makes no sense. Horribly cast. I don't know who casted that. I mean, you can't blame Gal Gadot for getting a solid paycheck, or either of them for getting a solid paycheck. But I mean, they're both horribly cast. You know who they should have cast? They should have cast that girl that led the Invisible Man movie. Have you seen that movie? We talked about this, haven't we? The Invisible Man. She's the woman from Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, yeah.
She like, it would make sense for this woman to be the evil queen. She should have been the evil queen, because she's not winning any beauty pageants anytime soon. And look, I'm not one to judge or whatever, but at the same time, if you're gonna get an evil queen, someone like, look, this girl fits the bill, right? I mean, look at her, and these are flattering.
She has a brooding look about her.
She's got the brooding look. She's got the pointy, rounded out chin, the big nose. I mean, come on here, right? Like, what are we doing here?
At least she would have been okay. Like, I think Gal Gadot, I really liked the first, I liked the first Wonder Woman movie that she was in. Wonder Woman 2 was not good.
I heard. I haven't seen either one of them, but I heard that as well.
And I'm just thinking, I'm like, I don't know. Gal Gadot needs to kind of be more choosy, I think, because that's like two pretty big. Like, Disney has led her astray twice now, as far as I'm concerned, with the Snow White and the Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah. Elizabeth
she needs
Moss,
to branch away from Disney and find some role that's going to be more suitable for her.
Absolutely. So Elizabeth Moss, she would have been perfect as the evil queen. Look at this. I mean, she would have been. Oh, it's going small. She would have been perfect. Like, make her the evil queen. Look at her. This is.
She's already sneaking around in that picture.
Yeah, she's sneaking around. Just dye her hair black. I mean, she'd make a perfect evil queen. And then for Snow White, like, oh my, like, look at this. She looks evil right there. Evil queen status. Dye her hair black. Throw a crown on her.
What's her name?
Dude, need I say more? Elizabeth Moss. I rest my case, Your Honor. This is the evil queen, not Gal Gadot.
You could have had Sydney Sweeney play Snow White.
I was just about to say that. You have Sydney Sweeney play Snow White. You have Elizabeth Moss play the evil queen. Boom. And they're both blonde. I guess they would have to dye both their hair. But
that's fine.
I mean, look, that would be perfect. And she looks, you can tell she's jealous. Oh, that young, beautiful bitch. Like, I can see it. I can see that she would play that perfectly. But instead, no, this woman plays in the Invisible Man, she gets stalked by a multi-billionaire tech guy who he's a billionaire who invents a suit of invisibility. And out of all the girls,
Harry Potter?
yeah, exactly. And out of all the girls that he chooses to stalk, he chooses
her?
This her. Yes, it's her. So a multi-billionaire who could get any girl ever and has the power of invisibility decides to stalk this woman.
Well, everyone's got a type, I guess.
I guess so. I guess so. But I mean, Disney guys, your guys' casting is way off.
I don't know. I'm just kind of, part of me just wonders what is going on there. Like, it just, because it's one of those. There's plenty of. I mean, like, here's like an example, right? Paul Verhoeven. Paul Verhoeven made one of the most loved sci-fi movies of the past 2 generations. And he did it trying to make everybody not like it, right? Like,
what movie is this?
Starship Troopers.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that movie.
He was he was supposed, like, he was trying to make, well, one, he didn't even read the book material, but 2 is he was trying to make it look like, oh, this is like dangerous, like the rise of fascism, and everybody instead's like, Rico, like, it's one of those things of like, even Paul Verhoeven, who, like,
was he really trying to do that? Calling the rise of
there's interviews where he says the whole point, because he's like, I think he's like Dutch or something. He's like, the whole point is that war makes fascists of us all, right? And like, literally everybody's like, I mean, like, one of the great quotes of like, I need a corporal. You're it, or until I find someone better, right? Like, I don't know. But even Paul Verhoeven, like, he may be like a very left wing sort of political guy, but he still somehow made an amazing movie that is like legendary, right?
I love that movie. I have it on DVD and VHS.
Oh yeah. Funny story. I made I took a picture of one of the movie covers where it shows like Rico and like his girlfriend, that not the one that married Charlie Sheen, but the other one, and I put my wife's face in in Rico's helmet, and I put my dog's face in the other one, and then I wrote in citizen guarantee or service guarantee citizenship, and it was my phone background for about a year or 2.
That's awesome. That is.
But
awesome.
No, it's legendary. But like, the thing is like, listen, it's fine. Like, you can have your political view. All of us like have our social and political views, right? Like, but at least have some skill. Like, I just feel like a lot of people at Disney don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, they're movies made by committee. There's no vision there. That's their actual problem. There's nobody there that has any vision whatsoever. And they're just saying, "Oh, well, what movie can we have a cash grab on today, right? What movie? Let's try to just reimagine. Let's just reimagine the Lion King, but make it computer animated, call it live action, and make it
call it live. I love how much that bugs you, by the way.
Well, because it's not live action. It's computer animation. That's exactly what it is. Well, you can't call it live action when it's not live action.
If you stalk around the Serengeti with a camera for long enough, do you think the real animals will reinvent Macbeth?
What?
Oh man. Yeah, no, I like that's it, and I'm just, it's very strange to me, and it's like, it just between like the disrespects from all the classic guys. Like, I get it, like, you want to kind of do your own thing, right? Like, obviously, if you're gonna make a Star Wars movie, you don't just want to make it A New Hope all over again, right?
Well, that's what J.J. Abrams did with The Force Awakens. That's literally what he did. It's literally what he did.
He tried to do it. He tried to, but Force Awakens still a lot better. But
Force
but
Awakens is better than A New Hope?
no, sorry, I mean the other way around. A New Hope is
Oh.
better than Force Awakens.
Well, no,
No.
I mean, like he tried because he just copied it, right? He copied it.
He copied it and then made it worse.
Exactly.
But no, it's
Oh my
like,
gosh, dude! I'm gonna show you something. Something.
is it Cerveza Cristo?
No, I wish it was. Which I had to cut those parts out because I got copywritten things.
Really?
Last time, yeah, I know. Okay, so check
Wait,
this.
is Cerveza Cristo still around?
That's a great question. That's a fantastic question. Let me add. I'm gonna add something. Dude, this is gonna
well, you
like.
do that.
Dude,
I'm gonna get a drink.
Okay, you deserve it. Dude, this is gonna like Disney needs to hire me. They can't afford me. They can't afford me. So check this out.
One sec.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so check this out. Sydney Sweeney as Snow White. You see this?
Yep.
Okay. Sydney Sweeney as Snow White. And then Elizabeth Moss as the evil queen. Boom! Dude, is that not perfect?
Oh yeah.
Like, that is perfect. Look. Snow White, evil queen. Boom. I mean, dude, like, you cannot get better casting than that. That would have worked. This would have worked. That would have worked 1,000%. Like, put Elizabeth Moss as the freaking evil queen, because it makes sense why she's jealous of Snow White. In Snow White, I guess she's supposed to have darker hair, but it works. This works. That look.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on. I had ChatGPT put this together in 2 seconds, guys. I mean, come on. For your, I mean, Disney, what the hell are you? Look at this. Aren't you scared of this woman? You know, this evil queen. Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, that's gonna be haunting my nightmares tonight.
Yeah, exactly. That's got Disney villain all over it. Look at that. Disney, hire me, you morons. Look at that. She's Snow White. That's Snow, and the costume is infinitely better. ChatGPT came up with an infinitely better costume than the freaking.
Even got the apple in there.
They even got the apple in there. Yeah, instead of the Temu version of the Snow White dress that they had.
They literally spent years making that movie, and they had all of the forces of Disney's budgets behind them. And that's, by the way, you got that a little bit wrong with the dwarves. So what really happened was, and this is really going full circle to the Toxic Avenger discussion. So they were going to cast real dwarves, not like Tolkien dwarves, right? But like people with dwarfism. And they were going to cast them, and they're going to have them. And Peter Dinklage went to Twitter and started ranting about how unenlightened Disney was for creating a movie where dwarves are minors.
That's right. Yeah, he
and
whined.
Then basically,
so he basically said, "Oh, I'm the only person with dwarfism that you guys can hire."
He did the thing where he climbed the ladder and then yanked it up.
Yeah, he grabbed that ladder. He grabbed it out. Yeah.
So then they turned it into Snow White and the 7, I don't know.
The 7 horrors.
It was, well, that might be another adult knockoff.
Dude, but look at this. Okay, this or this. I mean, come on, guys. Come on.
Do we even need to decide? Like, I mean, come on.
It's like, dude, this is a no-brainer. Okay, anyways, yeah, sorry.
No, but then they got like 7 people who were not like little people, and they were of like, it was basically they like scooped up like a crowd at like a Starbucks in LA. And they're like,
Yeah.
hey, put on these rags and then dance around in a field like you're a bunch of circus travelers. And then that got, I forgot, I think they were either they released that or it got leaked, and people were like, what is this? So then they went back on and they're like, all right, well, we can't upset Peter Dinklage. And we can't upset all these people by having 7 traveling circus actors. So we're just gonna make an uncanny valley freakish looking CGI dwarfs.
Dude, yeah, speaking about having nightmares, I mean, dude, like those those freaking dwarves look so creepy and freaky. I mean, dude, like how else are you
It's
supposed to do?
uncanny valley.
Why didn't they do a freaking yeah, now it's uncanny. But how I don't get it, dude. How do they drop the ball that much? I mean, I don't understand. How do you miss that
Well,
mark?
I think, okay, if I had to take a guess, what I would say is this. I don't think that anyone actually wanted to make that movie. Um, I think that
Well, nobody was asking for it, that's for sure.
right, like nobody was asking for it. Like even the movies that came out in the 90s that were a little bit more like nostalgic, right? Like live action Lion King.
Yeah.
Um
Live
that was like
action Lion King.
that was like, at least you could say, well, people like are who watched Lion King as a kid, they now are like middle-aged ish adults and they have money to spend on this, and like they might be nostalgic, right?
Right, and they'll bring their kids, right? You know.
But
So
like Snow White, like nobody was asking for it. Like I didn't grow up with Snow White because Snow White was old by the time I was born,
it was
right?
way old. It was the 1930s. I mean, it was beyond old when by the time
Yes,
we got there.
and the other thing too is, and this is, so I don't think there was a demand for it. And the other thing too is, I mean, we're kind of being around the bush a little bit, but there is a certain worldview
Yeah.
that Disney creative talent, quote unquote talent, have, and Snow White is like the opposite of what they want to produce, right? It's like there's a woman and she's jealous of another woman's physical
Okay.
beauty.
Okay. So think about this. Think about it real quick. Real quick.
Yes.
Okay. This woman is jealous of this woman's beauty. Or is this woman jealous of this woman's beauty?
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. This is a no freaking brainer. I mean, that is a no brainer right there. Like, how do you can't sell that to me for a second that this woman is jealous of this woman, you know? But all day, this woman, you can see the jealousy in her eyes. Look at that.
Of course.
You can see that. And then you got Snow White right there, perfectly cast.
Well,
Perfectly cast. I mean,
so like
come on,
the
guys.
problem is like when we're talking thinking about this, right, is like the a lot of early Disney stuff was all derived from German fairy tales, right?
Right. The
And
Brothers
and
Grimm
that's,
and
yeah, and it's like, and those German fairy tales are basically like very dark versions of life lessons. So like there will actually absolutely be kind of older women who are, let's say, like toxically jealous of younger women because like they're not as attractive to
oh
like
yeah.
people, right?
Yep.
and
They're
and
invisible
that's,
now.
yeah, and and it's like, it's not like you can't sympathize with it, but it's one of those things of like the German folk stories basically, yeah, you got to be careful because sometimes people will let that jealousy drive them to murder you.
Yeah,
So,
right. Yeah, yeah.
and like also, don't accept food from strangers that may or may not be trying to unalive you.
Even if it's a healthy looking apple.
Exactly. So, but like that's like a real life thing, right? That happens. But in this Disney, in the new Disney one, is like they don't want to believe that that's like a thing because it's kind of politically unpopular, right? So instead, they're like, well, Snow White's dad was the king, and then she stole the throne, and now Snow White's trying to launch a revolution to become the new the ruler of the dynasty that she's rightfully hers.
Right. Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah. And she don't need no man. She don't need no.
Well,
This
right,
Snow
and it's
White,
like,
yeah, because like she's like, yeah, it was the 30s when it came out, and she doesn't need a man to save her. Okay, she can save herself. All right. It's like, okay, Quentin Tarantino. It's like, okay, all right, okay. It's like,
and like, well, and then you get, well, and that's kind of like the issue, right? Is like, it took you all of 1 minute in Chat GPT to come up with a more plausible story plot. But that's because you actually, if you were tackling as if you're like, well, if I was going to make this movie and I wanted it to be good and I cared about my product, this is what I do. And I just don't think that's, I think they're like, listen, can we cannibalize Snow White to make a few bucks and also not offend our consciences while we do it?
right. Yeah. I mean, it's really, I'm just trying to think if they're actively trying to make a good movie or if they're trying to teeter totter, uh, tippy toe around in a politically correct way, make something that everybody likes that can't be offended by it, but at the same time, nobody's gonna like it, right? If you're trying to make something that everybody likes, nobody's gonna like it,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
also made by a committee, so they're like, oh, what demographics can we try to get? Oh, let's try to get like trying to make Snow White not the character in and of itself is just it's just it's just plain dumb. It's just dumb.
Well, yeah, because it's, it just doesn't make any sense to like the what Snow White was as a story. But and I will say this: when they handed over Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, to what's his name,
Yeah,
Ryan Johnson,
shall not say his name. He shall not be
he shall
no.
not be named.
He who shall not be named.
uh, I will say this: Ryan Johnson definitely did not make that movie by committee. He
No.
had sole power over it, and I'll give him this: it was terrible, but it was exceedingly good at being terrible, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're still talking about it. We don't talk about J.J. Abrams Episode 9 because it's just boring. It's like it doesn't have any. We love to hate on The Last Jedi, but there's nothing
Yeah.
really even to love or hate about the Return of Skywalker or whatever.
Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, Rise of
Rise of
Skywalker
Skywalker.
is like an ADHD movie on steroids. And there's so much happening that nothing happens. And by the time anything tries to happen, they already retcon it from the next thing. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, Chewbacca dies in that thing. Oh, next thing, no, he's actually okay. He wasn't on
No,
that
he's
ship.
good. We
He's
don't know
fine.
how he's good, but he's good.
Yeah, he's good. He's fine. No big deal.
Or like the Adam Driver got maimed to basically to his to the end, and then it's like, oh, never mind, Ray can force heal.
Right. So, like, yeah. Yeah. And then he saves her, but then she doesn't save him. And then he dies. It's like,
And then he dies, and then they ask, who are you? And she's like, I'm Ray Skywalker. Too funny, man.
dude, that is, you can't even make that up in a parody. That's such a parody. Yeah,
And
that would be,
what does Rise of Skywalker mean? Like, because like A New Hope makes sense, right? It's like they save Yavin gets saved, the Death Star gets blown up, and Luke is kind of like starts to learn the Force. Like, the Empire Strikes Back makes sense, right? They're striking back after again the Death Star blown up, and they like mess them up. Return of the Jedi makes sense because like Luke kind of basically just destroys the Sith. all of them make sense. Even like like Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace. So like you get it. It's basically like what's his name, Palpatine, right? Is the Phantom Menace, but like the Force Awakens. I don't quite know what that means. The Last Jedi doesn't even make sense because Rey is still. I guess she's the Last Jedi. But like Rise of Skywalker, like, what do you mean? Like Adam Driver dies, and Luke
Well,
is a ghost. There's no Skywalkers left. They're
well,
gone.
no, but I think you just hit the nail on the head right before that because she said, they're like, who are you? I'm like, I'm Rey Skywalker. So it's like the rise of Skywalker.
Her taking their name.
Her just stealing the name just to take the name. It would be like if everyone, yeah, I'm trying to think.
That would be like me going, my name is Jesse Lucas. I am the inheritor of George Lucas's legacy.
Yes, my name is Tremain Lucas. Like George Lucas dies. What's your name? Tremain Lucas.
Oh,
what?
Did they adopt you? No, they didn't.
No. I just decided that I'm related to them, and I'm gonna. I'll keep his legacy going, though. Don't worry, guys. Give me a bunch of money,
and it's even funnier because it's like. So Leia, well, I don't know. I guess that she gets trained by Leia, but like, it's like that Leia has a son, like, and Leia doesn't adopt her, like, and like Luke and her ended things by her yelling at him, and then him like trying to burn down the Jedi Temple. I don't know. It seems I think it's actually very indicative of J.J. Abrams
Well,
because J.J. is good at like flashy scenes, but not like actually making sense in plot.
again, yeah, and that's that's kind of always been my issue with him is that people loved the show Lost, but it's just one, and he explains this in one of his TED Talks. He talks about the mystery box. Whoa, what's in the box? It's a mystery. But it doesn't matter what's in the box once you open it because it's all about the mystery. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's not storytelling. That's just teasing people, making them want to know what's in the box, but then letting them down knowing that, oh, it doesn't actually matter what was in the box. It does, nobody cares. It doesn't matter.
Well, and it's like, well, that was the joke, right? So I watched Lost when I was a kid, and it was coming out on TV with my folks. And one of the things that like we used to joke around about in my family is so at the end of last season they said that everything will be revealed. And then they reveal like one thing and then one out of like 10 things, and then they make you ask like 20 more questions that they'll never be answered.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, what's the point of it? It becomes pointless. And that's why I don't, I was really, I don't know. I mean, I think they wanted to, I don't know. It's like, who else could have been a better director? I'm trying to think. I mean, probably anybody else. Christopher Nolan would have made a pretty interesting, Christopher Nolan would have made a very interesting Star Wars movie. He would have done something different too, and he would have taken the story and had respect for it. The problem with Rian Johnson is that his point was to disrespect everything about Star Wars in the
No.
That's what he wanted to do.
Him. His whole point was to subvert our expectations.
No, yeah, exactly. So exactly. Which means he wanted to piss everybody off.
You were expecting a good movie, and he subverted your expectations.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I think Christopher Nolan been interesting. I'm gonna admit I haven't watched a lot of the Star Wars miniseries, even though like you hear from like a lot of people like, oh, it's great, you should watch it, and then like 3 episodes later you hear from the same people, yeah, it's kind of trash, and it's like, well, anyway, but like one of the things I've heard about like Andor, and I haven't watched it, but like is that it's kind of like more of like a gritty sci-fi kind of political and like intrigue, and like it's
I tried watching it. I just didn't like or care any of the characters. So I lasted maybe one episode or two episodes, and I'm like, okay,
Well,
this is
well,
kind of
that will be
boring.
a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but
You
like
have to
you know,
care with the characters, you know.
I think Christopher Nolan would have probably made something a little bit closer to something like that, but done like a good job.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think because he talks about his inspirations, and Star Wars is one of his inspirations for making movies growing up. I mean, of course, who wasn't coming from that era, but
Of
like
course.
you know, he's a more competent filmmaker and storyteller. J.J. Abrams, he's very good at flashiness. I thought he did a good job with Star Trek, but he made a really flashy lens flare type movie, and look, again, it's a competently made movie, and there were some interesting things, like we talked about how Finn is the stormtrooper, and he humanized the stormtrooper, which is interesting. But Ryan Johnson, he really just all he wanted to do was just crap on all of the freaking Star Wars fans, and he got. I think he got his rocks off on it. Like that's what he wanted to do. He want
Well,
his
and the other thing too is that in some ways he also kind of did the thing where he ripped off The Empire Strikes Back also.
and he ripped off the
Like
whole audience too from making him watch this crappy movie.
hey, hey, the one thing he was not going to subvert your expectation is you would expect if you walked out of a movie to maybe get your money back. But that expectation was certainly, you know, subverted. I'm sure you would
Yeah.
not get your money back.
No, no. Yeah, you can't really get your money back if you just don't like a movie. I mean, maybe they'll give you a different ticket if you leave within 10 minutes or something like that, but you don't just watch a whole movie and be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I want my money back." I want my time back too. Can you give me that time? I really want those 2.5 hours back, please. Doing literally anything else other than watch this crappy movie. I wanted to like it too. I was afraid that it wouldn't be good based on the trailers and everything, and yeah, then I watched it. I'm like, man, doing a Yo Mama joke at the first 5 minutes of the movie, and then a Verizon Wireless "Can you hear me now" joke, and then when you hear Ryan Johnson like, huh, what people are gonna be surprised about is how funny this movie is. It's so funny. Like, it is not funny. It is it's horrible. It's not even funny.
Yeah,
The only funny
it's
part is when
absolutely not funny.
yeah, when Luke Skywalker drinks the blue titty milk, like from that alien,
From the
I mean,
monster alien?
from the monster alien. That was the only funny part. I laughed out loud, and that's my favorite part because I actually got a laugh out of it, and it was something that was entertaining. But Luke, they completely trashed on Luke Skywalker, made him a useless character. I mean, yeah, made everything dull and depressing. It's a movie about about trying to find fuel in outer space. I mean, it's like
No,
we're at
there's also the anti-capitalist scenes, right? From one of the most anti-capitalist companies in the world. You know, the people
of course.
they abhor greed at Disney.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, I don't know how he got so much freedom to do that movie. I really don't. And what was more of a slap in the face of George Lucas is when they bought uh, when they bought Star Wars from George Lucas. They said, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Oh yeah, I had it all listed out. I have a plan for the next three movies, and I was just kind of done with them." And they said that they follow it, and he gave him a blueprint for the next three movies, and they were just like, "Oh no, we don't care what we don't give a shit what you're gonna say. We don't care. You're just the
Oh yeah.
creator. You're just the creator of the whole Star
Well,
Wars franchise." I mean,
well, I will say this too. Is like, well, okay. On the one hand, yeah, they did say that they were going to take it into advisement, but on the other hand, sorry, I mean, George, you sold it. Like, what do you expect? They're not gonna kowtow to what you want. But one thing I will say about George Lucas is for sure is that he was generally pretty generous in terms of like third party creativeness in the Star Wars IP. So like he was as long as you kind of went to him and probably paid him some sort of royalty or something, right? He would let you write Star Wars books. Like he like would let you build on the expanded universe. Like he was not big on restricting it. Like he thought it was pretty interesting, right? Like, I think the one thing he probably didn't like is that people were terrible writers or something, but like it was huge. The Star Wars universe for decades was way more than just the movies.
Oh,
And
oh
then
yeah.
Disney bought them. They're like, yeah, none of that shit happened. And if you try and write another Star Wars book without giving us credit, we're gonna sue you to the end of time.
Oh, I didn't know they did that with the books. I didn't realize that.
Well, I think that they already had the right to have the books. People don't. They're not.
There was a
I
million
doubt.
books. I had a friend in my class at school. He read all those Star Wars books, and they're all super thick.
Oh
Like
yeah.
with tiny font letters or words. So they're all, and he
Well,
loved it. He loved them.
and I think that George Lucas didn't really care too much because he was like, I mean, George Lucas is one guy, right? And like when you have one guy, I mean, this obviously isn't always the case, but I think it's when you reach a certain level of wealth, it's kind of like well, I'm effectively infinitely wealthy right at this point. So like if people want to write books and then I get a little bit of royalty, yeah, sure, write your Star Wars books. But like with Disney is like they're basically a black hole, right? Like that, and that's one of the things is that they bought Star Wars not to make movies, right? They bought Star Wars to get endless content out of it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if you're buying third party Star Wars books, then you're not watching the latest Star Wars miniseries on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Yeah. If they were smarter, I mean, they should just say, "Hey, yeah, write whatever books and license it. We get a residual from it, no matter what." And then if there's an actual really good writer writing a really good book that gets really popular, we could turn that into a movie. You, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Like because it is he is one man. He can do so much, and when you are one guy, I mean, yeah, he has his limits. But a huge mega corporation like Disney can have multiple series, multiple directors working on different things. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool in a lot of ways. It's really cool the fact that they're able to spend all this money on really interesting, or interesting or uninteresting plot lines of the Star Wars universe. I think it's a positive thing because George Lucas wouldn't be able to do all that. He just simply one guy just can't do all that stuff. But that's why
Yeah.
it is you make something that's bigger than yourself. That is something that it becomes a point where it has become a bit dated in a way where when you really think about the logistics of a lightsaber and like you know what I mean, and it's really not an effective tool as an
I
effective
mean,
tool
it's
as
effective at potentially cutting off your own limbs.
right, exactly. You cut your own limbs. Yeah, you're gonna logistically it makes no sense, but it looks cool. It looks really cool.
Well,
But
that was kind of the whole thing too, is like, and I think that sometimes limitations can sometimes force you to be like, I think be more creative and to use things more in a smarter way. So like one thing that I think really made sense with the lightsabers, especially in the first three Star Wars, is that like it was probably pretty expensive to like have lightsabers on the screen.
yeah,
And so like when you saw the lightsaber come out, it was like a special moment, right? It's like oh, shit's really hitting the fan. And two, it was usually tied to some sort of character conflict, right? Like
yeah.
Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader. Like that was a super short lightsaber fight, but it was very impactful and meaningful, right? It was the end of an era of the old Jedi, and it was like this moment where basically, I mean, it instilled a hatred also for Luke against Darth Vader. And the same thing is like when Darth Vader fights against Luke, like that's a battle of the wills, not just special effects fighting around.
Right.
So
And their special effects, they had to rotoscope every single frame of that
yes,
of the lightsabers to make it legit. I mean, and the craftsmanship that went into early on. I mean, they built actual models to scale. They did stop motion. They had a lot of that's why a lot of the effects really hold up because you're looking at real things. Even
They're
if it's
real things.
yeah,
Like the passing in the first movie when you're seeing the death or the Star Destroyer pass over the Corellian Corvette, like when they're
oh
trying to
yeah,
capture Leia. Like, but that's because those were real models. Like that was actually something big passing over a smaller object.
right, yeah, exactly. And it was it's a classic thing, and it holds up. And then you go to Rise of Skywalker, where there's 1,000 Star Destroyers that just pop up out of nowhere, and and it's like what? It's like what? I mean that wouldn't even come close to. I mean anything against 10 of those just
It
wouldn't. You know, and then
Well,
like
and each one of those had a Death Star laser on it, right? Like,
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they all have a Death Star laser, and there's 1,000, 10,000 of them at the very
well,
end. I mean,
and it's like, how do you? Because like, okay, so when like in the originals, and once again, this is like even in the prequels, right? Like when they have the all the starships and the clones, it's explained as like this stuff was paid for with vast amounts of money like 10 years ago. Right. So you're like you don't have to go, well, where did this giant clone army and all this ships and equipment come from? You're like, oh, took a decade or more to build all this shit, right? With the Rise of Skywalker, it's like, how are you physically building all these ships? Because you're not getting stuff from other planets because you have to have this Sith dagger wayfinder to get to or away from this planet. So like where are you getting all the material? And where are all the people building this? Is there like farms?
yeah,
Like how do they feed themselves? Like
or they're 3D printing them all in on a planet
under
somewhere.
the crust of the planet?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like oh, they're like oh yeah, 10 years ago we got all this money, so we made all these ships. Oh, okay, and here they are. It's like okay,
Oh man.
all right.
Yeah, that movie just don't make any doesn't make any sense. I mean, aside from just like the story elements. I mean, I know we already talked about this at length, but the fact that they spend like 30 or 40 minutes trying to find this Sith dagger and then it just gets like destroyed or lost. And then they go and then Ray's like, "Oh yeah, Luke had a spare one on the planet. You know, the planet with no threats on it that I can just go to."
That I should have gone in the first place and just go.
It's just like I mean, it really does, and this is kind of what chaps me a little bit about some of these like movies is like, do you think I'm like an idiot? Like, I don't know. You just wasted 40 minutes of my life. They literally were doing something that wasn't required.
Well, that was the thing is Ryan Johnson treated all of the audience as complete morons, and the movie shows because you're just like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah, these guys are all idiots. I'm just gonna crap on everything that they think is good about Star Wars. I mean, it literally put a bad taste in my mouth for Star Wars ever since that movie. I mean, ever since that movie came out,
Well,
it's just put a bad. It's just a stain on Star Wars.
and what I was talking about just now was J.J. Abrams with the Rise of Skywalker, but I'm with you. Like honestly, like I've watched Star Wars like the originals and the prequels dozens of times in my life, right? Like
Yeah.
I was a kid and went to the theaters to see the prequels.
So did
Um
I. So did I.
and
And I saw them when it was re-released too. It was the prequels were re-released last year. Or was it last year
yeah,
or the year before?
so like you cannot, and like I owned a bunch of the books. Like I had toy lightsabers. Like I had like the action figures of like the clone troopers and the stormtroopers. I was really big in like me and my buddies would play a bunch of Star Wars Battlefront when it came out on like the PlayStation. Um, I was a huge Star Wars nerd,
Wow.
and I watched The Last Jedi in theaters, and then I watched it one more time at home, and then I said, "Yeah, I'm done with Star Wars." and I stopped watching. I didn't watch the third movie until I rewatched all of them with my wife last year.
Wow.
So I
Dang.
didn't see the Rise of Skywalker like until like what 4 years, 5 years after it came out.
So you didn't even see it in theaters then?
No, I was
Wow.
done with it. I was like, this is terrible. Like I literally didn't even know because I at the time I was thinking, one, this is a terrible, terrible movie, but two, how is J.J. Abrams going to undo all of the plot points that Ryan Johnson set up? And the simple answer is he didn't. He
Ye-
basically just pretended it didn't exist or like did some sort of BS
Well,
explanation of like,
right. He did retcon pretty much everything that that Ryan Johnson did. So it's like so and
it's
that's
like the
what
second
was
movie doesn't exist.
right, exactly, which it shouldn't exist, and I wish it didn't exist. And I think J.J. Abrams has walked back what he said before because after Force Awakens, he's like, you know what? I want to give another director this opportunity to do it. I don't want to just take it all for myself. And then after Rise of Skywalker, he's like, my biggest mistake was letting someone else take the reins. And
Yeah, and I'm
he,
sure that Disney thinks that that letting Ryan Johnson direct the second one was probably one of their biggest mistakes too.
oh yeah, because they're like, oh yeah, before it was coming out, they're like, oh yeah, Ryan Johnson is an interesting filmmaker. He's gonna get his own trilogy, side sequel in the Star Wars universe. So Ryan Johnson is, and then of course this happens, and they're like, yeah, no, you don't get that anymore.
Well,
I mean,
that the same
you
thing
got to
happened
listen
with
to the fans. You got to give the fans what they want, and he gave them exactly what they didn't want. You
yeah,
give
well, and they said that they were going to give Ray Skywalker a whole new trilogy too with Daisy Ridley, and then that's quietly gone by the wayside as well.
right, because nobody's like, oh, I need a Ray action figure. You know who's great? Ray. It's like she did her thing. I think Daisy Ridley she's one of the positive as an actress, a positive thing about the movies. But her as a character, I mean, she has zero flaws, no problems at all.
I
She's
liked
great.
I liked John Boyega and I liked Daisy Ridley. I think that they did just fine. The
Uh,
problem for me isn't with them, it's that the writing for their characters was just fucking terrible. Like that's the thing is I actually think that John Boyega, who he's the one that plays Finn, right?
yeah.
I think that him and Daisy actually had pretty good chemistry on set. Like
Well,
in
what
terms
about
of
Rose though? What about
you know what? I think that Rose didn't need to exist as a character. I
what
know that's
what
controversial
what the
opinion.
hell are you doing? I'm saving you, dummy.
We don't win by fighting against the things we hate. We win by fighting for the things we love.
Like, oh, I'm like cringing so hard thinking about that. And they're like, now kiss me. And then they give like the most platonic like kiss that you give to your
That's
like to
because
your
that's because Finn
to
did
like
not.
someone else's grandma that you don't want. And it's like, give us this. He's like,
That's she.
it's
She didn't
like
ask him for a kiss. She just took a kiss, and like the whole thing is
it's like
like. And this was really stupid, and I think that they could have done something with this that actually was interesting, but it was clear that there was a kind of love triangle, right? Like at least that's how JJ set it up at the beginning, right? It was like Finn clearly loves Ray, and
yeah.
Ray clearly is more interested in Adam Driver. Um,
Right.
but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
instead, it's like they make Finn basically like chase Ray like a dog, right? Like a lovesick puppy that's like getting unrequited attention, unrequited love. Instead of like giving him something to do in the second movie, and then in the third movie, like they introduced too many characters, and I feel like there was this one quote from John Boyega that I thought was very interesting. He said basically that John felt as though the writers didn't know what to do with Finn, so they didn't really give him much to do. And that I feel is absolutely correct.
Right. Yeah. And they could have given him a lot to do. There's a lot about
Yes.
that character that could have been really interesting, and they really dropped the ball. And Oscar Isaacs as what's his name?
Oh, Dameron.
Poe. It's just I'm not an Oscar Isaacs fan. I'm sorry. I don't think he's that good of an actor. I don't think he's right for that role. His
I
character
think
was
he
really
did okay in
boring.
Dune,
In Dune, yeah, in Dune, but we're
but he
talking about
also dies pretty quickly.
we're talking about Star Wars right now, though.
Yes,
Like in
yes.
Star Wars, as a big character, I don't think he really is. He can't, like we have Harrison Ford in Star Wars.
A titan
A
of
Titan.
acting.
You need a Titan in Star. I'm sorry, find a Titan. Oscar Isaacs is in there, and he didn't really deserve that role, I don't think, and he didn't do very well in it,
And
unfortunately.
they could have given it to Tom Hardy, and they could have made
Dude,
Ray
Tom Hardy would have
Charlize
crushed it.
Theron.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, Ray could have done it. Or yeah, Charlize Theron could have done it. Well, she's a little bit old, I think, to be Ray, but
Yeah.
but dude, Tom Hardy would have crushed that role. Are you kidding me? He would have been a million times more interesting than Oscar Isaacs. He would have been phenomenal in that role. You actually care about him, and he can actually act. This guy,
And
Oscar,
he has like the roguish kind of. He's not as
he's
lighthearted as like Han, but he does have that kind of like rough around the edges. Like I could believe that Tom Hardy has seen some shit in the galaxy.
Oh yeah, exactly. And you could build a ton of things with his character, and he could do any accent too as well. So I mean, that would have been. I mean, I don't get why they don't do that. It just you hire these committee based characters. I mean, John Boyega did well, and it's interesting hearing him talk after because he's British. He's not actually.
Yes, he actually
know,
does a really good American accent.
he does. He had me fooled. I didn't know that he wasn't American. And I mean, again, Daisy Ridley did her thing with what she had, and she looks great. She's a cute girl, but the character is not really interesting because she's just a perfect Mary Sue.
She's a Mary Sue.
She's a
Yeah.
Mary Sue.
Well, and that's one of the things that's kind of frustrating. So I remember there was this one video I watched. It was Critical Drinker did this fixing Finn video, and he did I think, a really good job at kind of exploring some ideas that could have been good for, I mean, Finn is okay, so I feel like they set Finn up at the beginning to be a very interesting character. And then as the movie went on, The Force Awakens went on, I feel like they basically turned him into a joke, right? So like this guy's a stormtrooper, he decides that he hates seeing the violence and he's maybe seen one too many bloodsheds, right? And he's like, "No, I have a chance to do something heroic and escape the First Order. I'm going to free this guy and then we're going to fly out of here, right?" And then they're like then they make him drink out of like an animal trough, and you're like, okay. And then they make him like basically instantly fall in love with Ray and like act like a doofus. And
Right.
then they're like, actually, he's just a coward, which is fine. That could be like his, a character foil or issue that he has, right? But then
Yeah.
they like do stuff like they make it so that he actually was just doing his first mission as a stormtrooper, and previously his job was that he was a janitor, and that he happened to be the janitor on the definitely not just the Death Star but bigger thing, right? Planet.
Right. That's
And
Star
then
Killer base.
Star Killer, yes. And then they had him face up to save Daisy Ridley, which was his character arc, right? It's like he was conflicted in his feelings about Ray, but also wanting to flee the First Order because he knew he'd be basically killed as a traitor, right? And then they have him lose. And to
Right.
quote Smug or Smoff or whatever his name was,
Smog.
Smog? No, that's the dragon from The Hobbit.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
Emperor
the thing I
Snoke.
had.
Snoke.
That's the thing. That's the thing I had to get checked for my car last week.
The Smog. But like, so Snoke then in the next movie, to quote him, you were defeated by a girl who had never even held a lightsaber. And it's like, this was the moment, because like John Boyega, right? Like Finn was not a Jedi, but he was a trained infantryman, and they basically just made him look like a big loser.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. That's just. I really do feel like they had a pretty. If they had given a 10, well, one is they had too many characters,
Right.
and also the writers weren't good. But like if they would have put in as much attention on Han, Luke, and Leia, like as they did with them, on Finn, Ray, and Poe, they could have actually made an interesting adventure, kind of hero adventure sci-fi opera.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have. They could have.
I mean, that's what George Lucas even did in the sequels. I mean, I think they still probably had too many characters in the sequels, or in the prequels. I mean, but like in the prequels, you spend most of your screen time on Obi-Wan and Anakin and Padme, and so like, even if you and I will disagree on this probably a bit, even if I'm not a big fan of the actual dialogue that he wrote for them at times, at least like, you got to know them as characters.
Right, you're following along and you care about them. And even when Obi-Wan goes on a side quest to the clone to check on the clones in Star Wars Episode 2, which I really like that. I mean, you're following Obi-Wan, you're following Anakin, and it's their story, and you care about these characters. I mean, I care about them way more than like everyone else seems to be just aimlessly just doing stuff, and then they're cutting in between a bunch of different characters, and you don't really know their mission or their goal about anything. It's just,
Wait, so you weren't enthralled when Poe Dameron had to try a coup against the pink-haired lady who was basically just having them float in space until they got unalived and refused to tell anybody a plan?
You're right. Yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, it's just like, oh God, God, it's so brutal. I mean, any idiot could have come up with anything better than anything like that. I mean, it's just
So I have a
God.
question.
Okay.
Do you think that effectively Star Wars is cooked as an IP, or do you think that there's still hope in the future sometime? And
Well,
what would it take for the redemption of that?
there's a new hope. It would take a new hope, that's for sure, for Star Wars. A brand, and there is hope, but they would have to really inherently they've led astray from what Star Wars has always been. And I just saw an interview with Mark Hamill, and he talked about The Rock asked Mark Hamill. It was the Actors Roundtable for the Hollywood Reporter, and The Rock asked Mark Hamill, when you were reading the script for Star Wars, were you thinking like this is going to be a big hit, or were you like, what the hell is this? What was your response? And he said, I'm reading the script, and he's like, I'm a big fan of sci-fi, and I'm like, this is fun. It's a fun adventure, but it also has humor. There's humor in it. The robots are fighting with each other. They're joking. And that's what I liked about it. And I thought, hey, this is going to be a lot of fun. Did I know it would be as big as it was? No, but I thought it would be successful. We all wanted it to be successful. And that they have strayed away from what it has always been, which is a fun, lighthearted sci-fi movie.
It's an
Adventure. And so with all these series is where they're taking it super seriously. There's zero jokes. Everything's dark. Everything's bleak. There's all these characters that no one's laughing or smiling or joking around. And yeah, the effects look great, the wardrobe looks great. Acting is passable, but they lost the heart, they lost the humor, they lost the lightheartedness that Star Wars has always been. So they would have to bring on a director, Tremain Hayhoe, Tremain Hayhoe, and someone who could actually bring on a little brevity, some little levity and brevity to
Yes,
this
both, please.
yeah, levity and brevity to the series, and make it a little bit more fun, lighthearted, and have it an adventure. It's like a roller coaster ride. Don't make it so drama, so bleak, so dismal. That's where they're trying to make it this serious Game of Thrones type thing, and like the Star Wars universe is not that. It is not that. It's always been.
Have you've seen the Christmas movie Scrooged with Bill Murray, right?
Yes, I love that movie.
We watch that every year. It's a great movie. You remember earlier on when they were having like the demos for A Christmas Carol, and like Bill Murray puts it there, he's like, "This is lame," right? And then he puts in his version, and it's like drugs, Armageddon, nuclear annihilation. Don't miss A Christmas Carol, right? It really is. It's like, I don't. You're right. It is, and there's heavy stuff that happens in Star Wars, like in A New Hope, right? Like 30 minutes in, maybe about 45 minutes in, like Alderaan gets super nuked from space. Like, and Obi-Wan literally says it's like millions of voices were crying out and then suddenly silenced. That's pretty dark. But the difference is that there's still a lot of like adventurous, heroic moments. So there's still stake and there still is like danger. But there's also moments where Luke and Han are pretending to be stormtroopers, and then like Han gets frustrated and just blasts the communications board, and he's like, I
love that. Yeah. They come in and he's talking to it, and then he's like, I don't know what to say. He shoots it.
There's been a malfunction on the prison day. What's your number?
And yeah, see, that's funny. It's funny, and then they're in the situations, and it's always funny. They're stuck in a situation, whether it's C-3PO or R2-D2, or they fall into the trash bin and it's closing in on them. They're still making jokes, or the way they do it, it's still funny. There's that levity to it, and it's a more, I don't know. It's just, there's always been humor in the Star Wars universe, and that's what's lacking in the new one. So they would have to really focus on the levity. Don't make it too jokey, because they try to make it too jokey with The Last Jedi. They're like, oh, your mama, oh, I can hear your mama, or with
you need,
can you hear me now?
Need
type
like
thing.
lighthearted moments, not fourth wall breaking jokes every 2 minutes like in the Marvel movies.
Yes.
Because it needs to be like it's like, how we come up with euphemisms, like when you when a girl that you like, you ask her out on a date and she says yes, and like we call it butterflies right in your stomach, right?
Yes.
It's like there's not a way to really describe that feeling, so we just kind of have to rely on the best metaphor we can come for, right? I don't know how to describe this in a technical sense, but there needs to just be some lighthearted charm.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever they're doing is not it. It's not charming.
No. And it's not lighthearted either.
No, not really, right? It's like,
it's depressing. It's yeah. It's depressing. I mean, it's depressing. It's too dark. It's too gloomy. All right. And this is Disney, right?
Well, Disney used to do lighthearted and charming, but
right, and whimsical, but you could still have big stakes being, you can still have stakes being lighthearted and whimsical and everything. You could still have real stakes, but it's like a theme park ride. Like, oh no, what's gonna happen? How the heck are they gonna get out of this? And then they do get out of it, and it's all good, right? Right? It's not just this whole bleak journey and that they're following people that you don't care about that aren't joking about anything. I mean, I don't know. It needs to be lighthearted for me. Anything for me needs to have some types of jokes for me to be interested into it.
So this is sorry, I had to look this up because I just sparked my mind because we're talking about I mentioned Marvel, right? Is like this is what passes for a joke in Marvel, in Disney these days, which is so there is this scene in Ant-Man 2 where he's doing there's some action with like the ants. That was the Quantumania one. That, by the way, I know you're not like a big Marvel fan, but Quantumania was supposed to kick off like Gen 5, I think, of
Is that Ant Man?
yes,
Okay.
with Paul Rudd. The first Ant-Man movie I actually really like because it's basically like a goofy buddy comedy, right? Like it
Okay.
doesn't take itself seriously, and Paul Rudd's
Okay.
actually a pretty funny actor. Um,
Yeah.
and they have some pretty good supporting funny actors too that are kind of like in his crew. But Ant-Man 2, they try to turn into this like massive Odysseus or Odyssey style like adventure of like the multiverse and like the subatomic multiverse. Point being is like so they have this quote in there that's a joke. Well, a bad joke. And they're like doing this thing and he says, "I know socialism is a charged word right now, but I think we can learn a lot from these ants." Like what that's not funny. Like it's just like this weird political statement that
Uh,
Disney, the most pro worker, anti rich organization in the world, right, is like, and it's just like, that those like that there's just a certain proclivity of writers that like that's like a half joke where they're like not really joking, but they want to make it seem like they are because they want people to consume their media, and it's like, listen, that there's like it is like it doesn't play. It's just not charming. It's not funny. And I
right.
start to wonder if these people even know what humor is.
Right. It's like they're looking at humor in a dictionary. I'll never forget. I had a rock and roll class in college, and we had a
You had a rock
professor.
and roll class?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was history, rock and roll, and we had this guy who was had this long hair, and he'd be blasting Led Zeppelin when we come in, and it's like this big classroom, like this big auditorium at San Diego State, and he's blasting Led Zeppelin and rocking out, and we learn about the history of Led Zeppelin, and then we learned about the Beatles, Rolling Stones, rock and roll, and then halfway through he went on sabbatical because he had a child,
Oh,
and
nice.
so we had a substitute teacher. Okay, so we had a substitute teacher who was this lady who came in, and it was completely opposite. It was like, okay, so in 1974, the Rolling Stones came out with this song, and this song is a rock melody of it was completely opposite. Where the other guy was like, "Listen to this, isn't this rock? Listen to this guitar solo," and he'd be blasting it, and they're like, "This is awesome. This class is legit." And then it became she made rock and roll very boring. It was like watching paint dry. Yeah,
You know it's funny is that's I know how you feel, and like I've had a lot of really, so I'm like a big like history nerd, right? And
yes.
like that's how I feel about history in general as a subject is like history is full of fascinating stuff, bro. Like it is crazy. Like people did crazy things, like interesting stuff, right? Like, but it's just always taught in such a boring, boring way that it's like people disdain. Like when you even mention something about history, it's like people start to like instantly brains turn off, eyes start to roll, and it's like, dude, like even just like stories about how like British Parliament came into play, or like stories about people adventuring across the world, or like even something like Tolkien, who was just like Tolkien was just a normal dude. Like Tolkien wasn't like a
He's Catholic,
like
by
a
the way. Catholic man.
very
Yeah,
very strong
very Catholic.
Catholic.
Yep.
Great guy, and but he was just like his dad was like part of like the administration in I think some colony. I think it was maybe in India, and he like traveled back and forth between Britain and India as like a kid, and like he was like raised by like a priest because his mom died of type 1 diabetes like 3 years before they developed insulin. Like
Wow.
even just something like that where it's like there's a way to tell his man's life story that's actually interesting. But anyway, sorry. I
Well, yeah. Well, that was my biggest gripe. But when I grew up, I hated history because it was always like, okay, kids, open it up. So the Civil War started in what year, kids? And so this happened, and this name. Remember this name. Remember this date. And it wasn't interesting. And then it wasn't until I've watched some history documentaries or learned a little bit, and I still am not history buff in any times. But then I hear something that happened. I'm like, holy crap, that happened in history. Like, this is really
yes.
interesting. Like, this is nuts. I mean, there's some
Like
really cool things. It's how you tell the story. It's how you get people involved. I mean, how do you take something that is so cool,
and
like
make it so boring.
and make it so boring? Yeah, like the Aztecs and the Incas or the Great Pyramids, for example. It's like, oh, King Tut was in a tomb. Da, da, da.
Or like like people will hear like the name of Hannibal, right? Like from the Second Punic War in Rome. But like when you actually like listen in or read in depth about his like that war and what he did, like that guy was crazy. Like they were marching through a swamp in Rome and he got an eye infection and he ripped out his own eye.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
And like there was
Did he
and
eat
it
it
was
because he's Hannibal Lecter?
he Hannibal the cannibal.
Hannibal the cannibal.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just yeah, there's just a charm about um the old Star Wars movies, and I guess I can give my answer to that question. Um I think
Oh yeah, what would it
I
take them to save Star Wars?
if I'm gonna be honest, I think that one of two things would need to happen in order to resurrect Star Wars from the third circle of hell that it's currently living in, um, would be either Disney needs to reform itself in such a way that it slowly gains back the reputation that it's lost, and
Yeah.
then and not touch Star Wars for like a decade, and then release a new trilogy once they cleaned up their kind of creative act, so to speak. I think that if they did that, like if Disney released like 10 good movies over the span of a few years, and then they announced that they got like basically they're going to do a new Star Wars trilogy, and the first one was good, I think that that would build enough trust and goodwill to really launch people back into the IP. The only other way, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really see that probably happening anytime soon. At least they're probably
No.
going to continue to steal the blood life force out of Star Wars until they absolutely can't make any more money off of it, and then leave it for dead like a vampire. Blah! It's me,
It's
Disney.
yeah. It's me, Nosferatu, Disney. No one likes this film anymore. We'll keep sucking till no one watches.
That's yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
and you think they would listen to their audience? I mean, it's a no-brainer. Listen to the fans. Listen to what the fans want. They will tell you. Star Wars fans will tell you what they want to see, which is
yeah,
complete opposite of
but
what
they're
they've been
just a
doing.
bunch of toxic, evil people.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Nothing shows love for your fan base than calling them a bunch of like crazy evil people.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and now, don't get me wrong. and I'm fully aware of this because I try and be reflective of myself as well. Us fan bases actually can be utterly like assholes, but there is like it doesn't mean that there's not good points, right? I do think that there is one other possibly more likely odds that Star Wars makes a comeback. And I think if and this is like down the road a bit, but if Disney decides that Star Wars is not really profitable for them anymore, like in the film section, I think they'll probably retain like the rights to use imagery and characters from Star Wars because it does make the money, right? Like at Disneyland and Disney World and toys
Yeah.
and stuff. But if they release the ability for other people to make Star Wars movies without direct involvement, and they sell it to a studio that actually wants to make good money and good and decent movies, I
Mm-hmm.
think that if Disney 10 years from now, Disney decides that they've made the 50th miniseries and nobody watched it, they may sell it to like I don't know, this hurts me to say.
Hey Ho
I
Studios.
can't, huh?
Hey Ho
Hey Ho
Studios.
Studios,
That's
exactly.
right.
I
Yes,
was
I'll
gonna
buy
say
it.
Warner Brothers, but I know they're bought out now, so by
Yeah,
Netflix, and I don't have
Netflix.
faith in
Yeah.
Netflix.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh no. And Netflix is worse than Disney. I don't know. It's
I think
very close.
the
It's
only
very
worst
close.
thing about Disney is that they have all these IPs already that are so loved. But yes, um, so if they sold it to Hey Ho Studios, and Hey Ho Studios said took a couple years to make a good Disney film, and they said, and you said, I'm going to release this movie. Our gracious media overlords at Disney have allowed us to make this movie without being sued for copyright, but we did not take into advisement anything from LucasArts. And this is going to be a movie that we are hoping to re-envision the Star Wars dream back to something closer to the originals, or maybe even something new, but that's like interesting and good. I think people would
Yeah.
take some interest, and if it was a good movie or two, I think that by the third trilogy of that or movie of that trilogy, you'd start to build up a fan base again, and I think that you would start to restore hope, but mostly because it's a different studio doing it.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I agree with that. They're gonna have to release the reins and and let people that are creative be creative without, it seemed like they gave Ryan Johnson carte blanche and no one gave him any checks. I don't know what, it's like there is something to it. A lot of filmmakers are like, "Oh, the studio is evil and they told me how to make my movie. They told me I had to make my 5.5 hour epic into a 2.5 hour, and it's like they don't know what the hell they're talking about." It's like, well, some actual filmmakers need to be reined back. They need to be
Yes.
told, "Hey, look, no, don't do that. Don't go off the deep end and make it a drama halfway through a comedy, or don't make it a sci-fi thriller halfway through a musical." It's just it, it-
You need some good producers that can play some pump the brakes in some ways and maybe encourage growth in other areas and remind, I mean, because like that's the thing is like every creative person, like there are certain, I think, and the more that I've learned about how books are made, like written, and how movies are made, the more I'm convinced this is not very common. But like there are occasions where you'll get a director, writer who's like they have a vision and that is what they're going to do and it's going to be great, right? But most creative people, like that's why when you write a book you hire an editor, right? Or you get, you submit it to an editor for a publishing company. Like
right.
you need somebody to read your stuff and or in the case of movies watch the process and go, hey, what is chapter 5 or scene 10 all about? Because I seem to kind of divert into this whole side arc, and I'm thinking maybe it's just a tad too crowded for this side arc. So what if you cut that and we'll shave off 5 minutes of the movie?
Right. Yeah. And we'll get to the nitty gritty and not go back to the side quest of visiting the old neighbor from 30 years ago that has nothing to do with
Or,
anything.
or maybe, cut out the 20-minute, largely unnecessary scene of going to a casino planet
Dude,
and freeing a bunch of bat horses.
you know what? I like that. That's the only scene that's the only sequence that I liked about that whole movie. Because it's the only part where I felt like I was in a Star Wars universe. And the rest of it, you're stuck on a stupid ship the whole time. And you're looking at the lady, and it's they're waiting to get gas, and they're going. There's nothing happening that's interesting. So when they went to the casino, I'm like, oh, okay, they're at least in a new casino. It was kind of like Monte Carlo, but then the whole thing about getting a parking ticket was ridiculous. I mean, I get it had nothing to do with the movie, but I love that part because I'm like, oh, we got a break from this
Well,
boring,
it,
stupid ship. You felt like you're stuck on the stupid ship that whole movie.
I
You know?
mean, that he was trying to give you an immersive experience because that they were stuck on the ship the whole
Yeah, I
movie.
know. Yeah, exactly. So it's like when they finally go to a casino, like, okay, finally something's happening. And then you get to see, because I always like seeing the aliens in Star Wars. I like seeing the different characters and all those different things. So I really, I liked that casino part. I know it had nothing to do with anything and it completely sticks out like a sore thumb in the movie. But I actually, that's when I kind of perked up and was like, oh, okay,
I'm
this is actually interesting.
I'm just gonna say that is more of a statement of how sad that movie is. That was the highlight of
I
the movie
agree.
for
I
you.
completely agree. Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty bad. But
Yeah.
yeah, I get you. But like, well, maybe then he needed a producer that would have said, "Hey, why are half the main characters stuck on one ship for 2 hours?"
God. God. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
why did Ray not actually get trained by Luke?
You're right.
Hmm.
Huh.
I like just one producer to go, Ryan, Ryan, baby, I love you. You're great. You're beautiful.
Ryan, baby.
But don't people like Luke Skywalker? What isn't he part of the reason why people paid so much money for stuff like seeing the first three and action figures and Halloween costumes?
Yeah, and isn't
Yeah,
he
but
the
you don't
most
understand. My
isn't he the
vision is
most
subvert their expectations.
gosh. Like, dude, yeah, you take the most likable, hopeful character probably in movie history, and then you make him the most unlikable, curmudgeony, just bump on the wall, and
Yep.
you just ruin it. Yeah, I mean the
I don't
last
know, man.
Jedi. Yeah.
And it's just boring. Like that is one of the things too. Is like, where's the war in Star Wars?
It was
I
more.
just it feels like the first movie right of the original. You're like, well, they're like a rat. Like it's literally like a dude and his dad's old friend are smuggling themselves to get to the resistance, the rebel, right? And like they're basically saving Leia, but at least they end up at a rebel base, right? Like there's a military there, and like there's like real like, and then the second one is like, I don't know. It seems like there's not really a war. It more seems like it's just like a handful of characters that are written very poorly, doing random things that don't really make sense.
Right, exactly. Yeah, yeah. There wasn't anything. I have to use the restroom.
All right, I want to take a little break.
Yeah, or you entertain the people. Entertain the people. All right.
Okay. Are there
All right.
really people there?
There's one. There's one.
Hey, what's up, person?
Hey, hello, person. I'm trying to get you, so it's just you. I'm still getting the hang. Okay, I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good.
Entertain the people. Okay.
So yeah, sorry the people. We're supposed to be talking about uh Toxic Avenger and January movies. We did talk about those things earlier in the stream, and I'm sure that we'll have like clips and stuff from that. But I don't know. Every time that I talk to Tremaine, it feels like we end up talking about how much we dislike modern Disney and how much we dislike The Last Jedi. So that is what we do sometimes. Um, so yeah, uh, I guess I don't really know what to entertain you with. I could talk about history if you want to go to sleep, but anyway, yep. I also can't see any chat or anything, so I can't tell if anybody's saying anything. But I guess when recent stuff, I was watching Gattaca with my wife, with Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman. And the funny part is, I like in movies when it's kind of funny in movies when like the main characters or in TV shows like actually end up dating in real life. It makes sense, right? Like because if you have like two single people and they're both acting together for like making a movie or a TV show for years, like, you spend a lot of time around people, you have a lot in common because you're, working together. Like it makes sense. But it's just funny in that movie because like Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke are legit like married, or at least I think they were at least. Um, and like they have their daughter is one of the main characters in Stranger Things. So, but yeah, Gattaca, great movie. Um, Probably one of my favorite sci-fi movies, and it's actually done really well because it all makes sense. And like it actually has science fiction in it. Like it's based around the idea of, well, what happens when you can so perfectly decode a genome that you can do it like literally to reproduce. So, and what kind of crazy stuff comes from that? And then also I do love. So I'm rambling about Gattaca, and one of the things I will say that I do love is that is one of like the derogatory nicknames that they give to people in that movie, like in that movie's world, for people who are born naturally, right, instead of like genetically sequenced, um, is they name them degenerates. I've never really caught that before. Like I didn't really like think of it. It didn't click. And then last time when we watched it a few days ago, I saw that. I was probably excited before I didn't have the subtitles on, but like because my ears suck now, I watch with subtitles usually. And I read the degenerate, and I was busting a gut.
Degenerate. You
That's pretty good, huh?
degenerates. That is good. That's
All right,
really good.
now it's your turn to entertain because I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay, okay. All
All
right,
right, bye.
guys, we are back to movie night, the night where we talk about movies. So it's been a slow night. I think what I've done is too many shorts. So I've inundated I think I've inundated my YouTube channel with about 90 new shorts in the past 3 days. I think maybe that's too much content. Maybe what we'll do moving forward would be to post one every 12 hours or something like that, or 6 hours instead of we put it one out every hour. So I think what happens is by the time the algorithm gets pushed or gets swarmed with a bunch of different videos, then by the time we actually go live, no one else actually sees it because we have not had a single comment and we've been live for 3.5 hours. So if you guys are here, get here, please. Get here, please, and say hi. Don't be shy. Um, but we're looking ahead in 2026 for making new content and going live 3 times a week, which is kind of a tall order, but only an hour on Mondays, maybe 1 or 2 hours on Wednesday, and then Fridays we go 3 to 4 hours. So probably I'll have the rest of this beer, and then we'll go till the rest of this time, and then we'll do that. So Uncanny over here has been a good co-host. We're talking about movies, chatting about movies. Also thinking about what to name this because we do kind of go all over the place with these movies, with this show. Maybe I'm thinking about TGI Friday type of element, something like that. I
I
don't know if
I think
yo.
that yeah, we need to brainstorm a little bit more. I like the TGI Friday is pretty cool. I
Yeah,
I
the more I'm thinking it is like, especially with us, it's because we started talking about Toxic Avengers, and now we're talking about Gattaca or The Last Jedi, and yeah, I think something that we're like a critical drinker has open bar, right?
yeah.
It's kind of more of a hangout type thing.
I
That
kind of like how so like today, right? We did talk about Toxic Avenger for a while, and then we did talk about January 26, 2026 movies. But like it's kind of fun just to have maybe like, 2/3 subject matter, one
right.
third or maybe one half kind of whatever we want to talk about.
Yeah, I like that. But as a title or a show title, I guess movie night live. I don't know if that's too generic, but
But by
um,
the way, I when I told you about shaking the can, it's funny how it's funny about language, right? And how like what I was trying to convey, and I think you didn't catch what I was throwing. I was thinking like, how when you have a soda can and you shake it up and you get all like crazy and then it explodes out.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking, because it's like, let's get all jazzed up and then we can rant about how much we hate things. But then you said, well, I don't make it sound like we're hobos or something. And I was like, oh, he thinks I mean like shaking the change can.
Yeah, that's what I thought. When I yeah, because we say that in the nights we say that pass the can
when you
around or
guys beg for
shake.
donations.
Yeah while we're begging for donations for the like
I
wheelchair
mean,
breakfast or ID drive.
hey, when we get more than one person in the chat, you'll be begging for donations
That'll
too.
be the day. That'll be the day. Yeah, I know we had like
$10,000 and I'll watch Janny.
and I was stupid Forrest Gump, dude. Oh my god. I was talking to my director of photography friend earlier today, and I was talking about a scene in Castaway, and he goes, "Oh man," he's like, "Dude, you're probably gonna hate me for this." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Dude, I love Robert Zemeckis and I love Tom Hanks, but I've never seen Castaway." And I go,
Really?
"Yeah." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Well, that's fine, man, because I love Robert Zemeckis and I love Tom Hanks, but I've never seen Forrest Gump." And he's like, "What? Really?" And he's like, "Dude, I've seen that. I love that movie. I've seen that movie 100 times." And I'm like, "Screw that movie. It's stupid. It sucks. I don't want to watch that movie. I never will." He's like, "What? What?" Anyway,
Do you like Castaway?
I love Castaway. Do you?
Castaway's a great. Oh,
Yeah,
Castaway's
yeah.
great.
Yeah. Wilson. Wilson.
I when I was
Wilson.
a little, I was like a young kid. I was pretty young when that came up, and I actually like I kind of choked up and like teared up a bit when I was a kid when he lost Wilson.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. It was sad because I was like
Now,
his only friend
it's
on
a
the
little
island.
embarrassing to admit, but like that's pretty crazy. You wouldn't think that a kid could get so emotionally involved with like
Volleyball.
a man losing a volleyball.
Well, what I like about that movie is that he talks about how he tried to end his own life, but
Yeah.
but of course I had to test it first. So I tested it, and then the twig snapped, and then so I didn't go through with it. you know,
Well, there we go.
right?
Hey, I'm gonna text you a meme real quick. By the
Okay.
way, you remember the meme that I sent you about Avatar and the communing with their animals?
Yes.
That was something that I thought about since Avatar 1, and I can't believe that more people do not make jokes about that.
Yeah. Well, it's very weird. the more you think about it,
It's
it's
very
very
strange.
yeah. The more you think about it, the more weird it gets. But I was saying how I think I've flooded my whole audience because I've posted, I think somewhere between 80 or 90 shorts in the past 3 days.
Oh
So
yeah, I know. I've been getting
yeah,
them too. The notifications.
yeah. So it's maybe I should dial it back a little bit. What do you think? Like, because I think that is the reason why there's only one person here. Because if you flood people with notifications, you might get people to not pay attention as much.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't post quite too many. What you might want to do is try to oh, I can't find this meme. What you might want to do is like try and I, is there every time you post stuff, does it alert people?
Well, it depends. Sometimes sometimes the shorts doesn't, and sometimes it's only regular posts, which is good. I really want more of the main videos to notify people than the shorts. But a lot of the shorts are doing okay. I mean, at least the last few ones would get either 900 views or 0 views or 1 view, 40 views here, 40 views there.
That's
But
good. But I don't know. I guess it depends, like on if you want there to be less noise, so that when you go live, maybe more people show up.
right, yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, because we had at least a handful last week. So I think what I'll do is I'll post I'll change it back to once every 6 hours instead of once every hour. I think once every 6 hours is a little bit much.
Yeah, you might want to I mean, you might even just want to do like one a day or something. Like, I don't know, if there's a way that you could upload more content but not necessarily send out notifications about it. Like, I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive, but like, because you want the notifications are basically like either videos you really or live streams you really want them to jump onto,
Right.
or it's for like a reminder of like, hey, I still exist. You should come
Right.
check out my channel.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I know what you
But
mean.
yeah, because I think it'd probably be better if people more noticed like the live streams than just like the clips.
The
But
shorts. Yeah. No, that's true.
yeah, but I have noticed you have been putting out a lot of content, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Just get a little bit of light.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if you
mean,
have your phone.
16,000 new views in the past 48 hours, which is
Nice.
yeah, which is pretty good.
Hey, do you keep your phone on you when you do the stream?
Yeah.
You should check the text I just sent you.
Oh gosh. Jeez. Oh God.
Wilson.
Wilson. I like when he like gets mad at him. He's like Wilson, then he's like Wilson, Wilson, like come back here. It's like Wilson. It's like you're talking to your pet. Like come on.
It's even funnier because like that's the name brand, right? Like that's like
Right.
if he
He
would have
didn't think
had
of
like
any.
a shoe, he would have been like Nike.
Right, yeah. Or Spalding, another ball
Yeah,
brand.
exactly,
Spalding.
right?
Spalding. Wilson.
Yeah,
Wilson.
so yeah, I anyway, I just thought that was funny, and I'm like the memes guy, so
Oh yeah.
I
No, it
I
is
get
funny.
validation when people laugh at the memes I send them.
Good. Good. I think the one that you sent what did you send before? The take over the world one.
The Pinky and the Brain. That's a blast
Yeah.
from the past.
Oh yeah. Yeah, totally. Oh, actually, I won't share that one meme that you sent. Oh, you know what? Okay, I wanted to talk to you about this. I went to Chick-fil-A the other day,
Yeah.
and I saw this Legends of Evergreen Hills season 2. They're on season 2 already. Watch on the Chick-fil-A app.
What?
Chick-fil-A is making content. It's some fairy tale computer animated show called Legends of Evergreen Hills. Watch together this holiday season on the Chick-fil-A Play app. A Chick-fil-A original series. And they're on the second season already.
They're a chicken slinging company.
Why
are they
Chick-fil-A
putting out content?
Chick-fil-A is making content, and they have their own app and they have their own shows now. How crazy is that?
Chick-fil-A's like, listen, if Netflix can do it, we can do it.
Right. We're a chicken sandwich company. I mean, we can keep up with Netflix. like what?
Man.
Now that would be interesting to watch. I mean, I don't think you need to pay to watch it. You just need to have the Chick-fil-A app, the Chick-fil-A Play app. But they're on the second season already. You're on a second season?
This is a Greenland 2 situation where you're learning about the second version.
Right. But I mean, there's like the seasons, the Legends of Evergreen Hills.
So what, do you want to watch that and do a Friday night review?
That would be
Evergreen
interesting.
Hills?
Yeah. YouTube Chick-fil-A. Apprentices of Evergreen Hills. Oh my gosh. No way. Oh my gosh. We might.
It's a real thing.
So Chick-fil-A. Dude, and it has 68 million views. Oh my gosh.
What?
I'm just gonna go to this right now. We're not gonna watch it because I don't want to get copywritten, but let's look at this page real quick. Apprentices of Evergreen Hills. 68 million views.
That's crazy.
That's nuts. Holy moly. Comments are turned off. What? 2.4. This came out 20.
You cowards, Chick-fil-A, let me comment on it.
Come on, dude. They have 110,000 subscribers. Chick-fil-A. What the heck?
That's
Sam and
nuts.
Friends. Great Adventures. Legends of Evergreen Hills. 5 months ago. Best Friends of Evergreen Hills. I wonder if there's any, like, let's see if there's any chicken sandwich eating in this show.
Can you imagine if they made this whole thing just to subliminally like message to eat Chick-fil-A?
Well, it's so funny when you think about it. I guess it's no real different than Apple TV, because it's like Apple TV, they have their own Netflix.
Or like half of Sony movies.
Yeah, totally. yeah, exactly. Man, this is mind-boggling. But yeah, they're just making some fairy tale show up. Okay, this only has 4.6 thousand views. This came out. See, new series on the Play app now. Wow, what a time to be alive. The Chick-fil-A Play app. Look, this is crazy. Wow, I mean, I love Chick-fil-A. I love me some Chick-fil-A. Family time.
There's an actual cow character like in their ass.
It looks like, what is that? What are those claymation characters? Oh, Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah,
remember those? Yes, Wallace. Yep. It's like Wallace and Gromit.
And Chicken Run.
Yes, Chicken Run. That makes perfect sense. Chicken Run, Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
These people here create. You can create recipes and crafts, and you can listen to Ice Lions on the Chick-fil-A app. Donuts, the whole story. HOLE. Joyful animated books. That's very interesting. Wow. Timeless sips. This is mind-boggling. Isn't this crazy?
Yeah, man.
What a time. What a time to be alive. Wow. I mean, just wow. That's all. Chick-fil-A app. Maybe we'll talk about one. I could probably only watch one episode of this Chick-fil-A app.
You never know. Maybe you'll get hooked.
Yeah, it could. But I like the idea of having wholesome family content, at least on a Chick-fil-A app. Because on Netflix, dude, you don't know what they're going to put up on Netflix, especially even for kids stuff. kids shows.
Oh, there's been. I mean, honestly, I don't even feel comfortable. I mean, if you and I were talking not on stream, I wouldn't
Yeah,
care. But like
right.
on stream, there's like one series and one movie in particular that I'm thinking about that like got. I mean, that got them in hot water. Like they had to basically end up removing them. They were
Oh,
so
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Dude, it's disgusting. Like I think that's the thing with content moving forward. That's the reason why Chick-fil-A has a popular streaming app that we didn't know about. I didn't know about. So, but for kids, I mean, if I was a parent, I'd be like, oh yeah, I trust Chick-fil-A to come out with some
Over
wholesome.
Netflix, any
Yeah, over
day.
Netflix any day. Yeah, and it's better than it's not the creepy Ronald McDonald and Grimace and Hamburglar, although that could be more wholesome than.
There's a reason why there are an absurd amount of McDonald's themed horror video games.
You're right. Yes, because it's terrifying thinking about Ronald McDonald as a just in general, even as a regular clown.
You know what's even more messed up about that too is that I believe that the guy who basically created McDonald's ripped it off from another guy, and then they made that guy was Ronald McDonald, and then he made him a clown. Like
Oh
after
wow.
ripping him off.
Well, yeah, it was two brothers that started it, and
Oh, is
then it
it
was
two
yeah, it was two
brothers?
brothers, and then it was Ray Kroc. Yeah, there's the movie The Founder. It's played by Michael Keaton. So Michael Keaton plays Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc was a milkshake salesman, and then he came across these two brothers who had this popular burger stand, and the McDonald's brothers. I think their last name was McDonald's, something like that. And then he wanted to franchise it, but the brothers didn't want to do that, and so Ray Kroc ended up kind of swindling the brothers into getting the whole business.
He
And
shook things up.
yes, yes, he shook things up with his milkshakes. And yeah, it's a actually really well-made movie. It's really interesting too, the whole story about McDonald's, how it got so big. And he actually, because it was more of a real estate minded company, right? Because they're all about the real estate, the locations of where the burger places are,
Oh
and
yeah.
then and then bringing in systems in place. And he took it to that next level where the brothers just wanted to have a nice restaurant and make burgers, and they didn't really have any dreams to go bigger than that. But Ray Kroc took it to that next level, and he was a little bit of a seedy salesman type. But it's a really fascinating story.
It sounds like a very burger themed version of the Social Network.
Yes, 100. Yes, it's exactly that. Yeah, it's a less tech savvy, old school social network. That's a good way of putting it.
The Burger Network.
Yeah, the burger. Yeah, the burger. The burger network. Yeah, the Hamburglar network. The Ronald McDonald. I like how they
Well,
quietly got rid of Ronald as the main mascot. You don't really see him anymore, do you?
mm-mm. I mean, some locations you see creepy statues of him sitting on benches.
That's true. That's very true.
The
Yeah,
nightmare of all small children.
right. And grown-up children like me.
And grown up, but for basically everyone. Let's just say that.
Yeah. It's just absolutely, yeah. Well, I think we've had a good show. We've had a good
Yes,
talk. We've gone on for almost 4 hours, 3 hours and 43 minutes.
you
Well,
read my mind. I was just about to suggest maybe we make a break for the evening.
make like a tree and get the hell out of here.
Exactly.
Okay, well, hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Movie Night, the night where we talk about movies. I'm Tremain. There's your co-host, Uncanny. Stay tuned for Uncanny Fridays or TGIF. We'll figure out the name of the show and we'll make it really great so we can talk about whatever we want. Maybe we'll have a couple topics that we have in mind already. Then we'll go off and maybe keep dissing on The Last Jedi. Who knows, right? So make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Comment below what you guys think about our movies, whether you think that we're right or think we're wrong. debate in the comments. Okay. Thank you.
And then share it with your best friend.
Share it with your best friend and also share it with your worst enemy. Thank you and good night.